Hey guys, Archie Luxury on the Archie Luxury channel. That's where all your dreams become reality. That's right, guys. Your dreams become reality. You are on Pontiff TV, and we are having a great day today. I'm trying to get Jake the Yuppie on. Let's get Jakey on. Guys, it's Melbourne Cup for Australians, guys. We've got a very interesting we got some interesting stuff happening here. We really got some interesting stuff. And I got to be honest with you, there's a big election happening in America. We wish everybody the best of luck. I hope your side wins. Hope your side wins. That's what we'd like to see happen there. Just pinning the link. The link is pinned. We've got some super chats, and I've got to tell you there, guys, we've got a couple treats lined up. We've got Jakey Poo. We've got super chats are rolling in fast and furious. And let's have a look here. Firstly, super chat, Rich Mitch, £2. Yes, 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 yes. That's the way to go there. We got Patel Philippe, $2. Please read today's goal since you didn't say hi to Tim. Didn't say hi to Tim. Tim Musso. Yes. Tim Musso. So the goal, I will eat a salad live on air if 5 super chats come in the next hour and a half. Fuck me dead. My God. I don't like salads. I don't like salads. Yeah. We've got another super chat from Nick Miller, $14. Who is Tyler Durden? Can anyone who tell me who is the fuck is Tyler Durden? Will you help me to see? Is it out of my reach? Is there anybody who can tell me? Where is my mind? Who will win the election? I thinking, you know what? I thinking it could be. Look, the problem with elections is that if I go one side, I alienate. Who is Tyler Durden? Who is what the hell is he? He's a fictional narrator. The narrator is a fictional character and protagonist and main antagonist of the 1996 Chuck Palahniuk novel Fight Club. Tyler Durden. His famous line is, You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet." Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden. Yeah, there you go. Fight Club. That's where it came from. Fight Club. And let's have a quick look here. Hello. You're with who? Who are you with? Okay, how can I help you? Look, no, don't worry about it. I don't need it. No, it's okay. Sure. Hey, I gotta go. I've got a conference call. You just rang me in the middle of a conference call. Okay? Don't worry about it, okay? I just clicked on it. I clicked on the link, but I'm not really that interested, okay? Thank you. Okay, thanks. Thank you. I just got to talk to someone about my insurance needs. My insurance needs. Fuck me dead. I thought it was somebody from the dating site. You get that? You know, your number comes up. You think, fuck, that could be a lead, you know? Busty. The busty one. But it's a cold call for investment property. Ugh. Blah. I don't know what to say. You know? What can I say there? It is what it is. Now, we're getting back to the topic at hand here. Now, let's get back. Oh, I've got a secret footage to show you. I got some secret footage to show you. Let's bring this up. This is secret footage. Now, in Australia, we got the Melbourne Cup. And I was hunting around, and look what I found for the Melbourne Cup. Look at this. These are some pictures. These are confidential pictures of a young sucker horn. Look at this. A young sucker horn. Look at
You're
this.
born, you take
Holy
shit,
shit.
get out in the world,
Look at this
you
guy.
take more shit. Climate it.
Look at this guy. This is the young sucker horn. Look at this. Fuck. You see this guy? That's young sucker horn. Look. Look at this. Look at this gear. Look, that's a good looking sucker horn. Holy shit. Look at this. Look at this. This is the sucker horn. The John sucker horn. Look at this. Amazing footage, amazing video. Look at this. I've tracked this down. Have to be 80s. Look at that Hilux ute. Hilux, baby. Hilux. Look at that. That's the sucker. Look at that. Look at that. That's the sucker horn. That's the sucker horn. Look at that. Look at that guy there. Look at that. Look at this. This is look, I found this video. I wanted to share it on the interweb. Look at this guy here. He's time waits for nobody, my friend. Time waits for nobody. Look at this. We get old quickly. Good looking John Suckerhorn here. Time goes so fast. Look at this. It's a time waits for no man. Look at this. Ah, that's John's son. He's nearly an adult. John's son. Look at this. This is the Suckerhorn. Secret footage of Suckerhorn. Look at this, isn't it? The John Suckerhorn. Still a good looking dude. Look at that, the Suckerhorn. My God, he's like a rock star. Look at this. Young Suckerhorn. Yep, there you go, guys. I found that footage. How was that there? I just thought I'd show you some Suckerhorn footage. There we go. It's yeah, it's Sir E. Danny. Let's see if we can get him on the show. Who else? We want Keslowitz. Let's see if we can get him on. Marky Goldberg. I love a good Goldberg. The Hofmeister. Hofmeister's always good for a smoke and a talk. We got the Bear Clooney watchers. Let's see what about Bear. We got Jay Anthony. Let's see if we can get him on there. We got Mike the Snake. Mike, how are you?
Hi, Archie.
How you been, Mikey?
I've been okay. Just lots of stuff going on, you know. Sometimes it gets crazy.
I know.
But Yeah, I'm doing fine, and I
Only try your best, Mikey.
Well, I missed the show for a couple of days, and I really felt it. I missed being on the show. And I love your show. I did catch that video you made of you talking about packing it in, and that almost broke my heart.
No, I'm not packing it in. I said the business is over. I didn't say I was quitting.
Oh, okay,
I was
good.
saying
Good,
the business had some downward spirals, you know.
Okay.
And,
well, hang in there, because no matter how low it goes, it always will come back up. Everything cycles, and believe me, because I've been I've been as low as it low gets, and then go a couple steps below that, and I crawled out of that hole that most of my friends and cohorts didn't, and it is possible. It's definitely, you just gotta hang in there, work. It takes work, but you got a lot of support, Archie. You have a lot of people that love you, and I know you're going through rough times right now, and everybody, I'm positive of it, is absolutely waiting to, or happy to wait you out until things get better. Let me see if my audio is messed up. Microphone, webcam, yeah, it is. Let me change this real quick. Do I sound better now?
yes.
Thank you. My computer's been messing with me. And it switches my microphone off, and
I see.
it switches it over to the camera microphone, which is shitty.
We got a big day in America. I think also what's happened is the election. I got to be honest with you. I don't want to take, I don't want to alienate half my audience by backing one side I know nothing about. It's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Got a super chat.
We got a super chat. Nice super chat from Patel Philippe, $5. Mike the Snake, what were the biggest differences being at the Kali Center versus the Shiva one? And where was the best bud?
All right, the best bud by far was at the Kali Temple. And the main differences were that if you go on YouTube and type in Kali Temple and just look at what in India a real Kali Temple looks like, it would scare the shit out of you, and you would never go in one. They're scary places. Kali is kind of like, she's known as the destroyer, and she's associated with destruction and death and mayhem, and she's kind of that spectrum of the religion, whereas Shiva is kind of like God. He is the all-powerful main god that there is in the Hindu religion, as far as I know.
Have a look at this. Look at this, Mikey. This is Melbourne. This is a beautiful this is the South Yarra River.
And no, it's late. It's Albert Park Lake Arch.
What kind of fish can you catch in there?
There's, you know what, Mike? There's a fuck that you can catch. Mostly people come down here and have fun catching carp. Like carp? People come fly fishing here because like carp, they're not good to eat, but they're really good fishing. And
exactly.
So there's like this huge carp in the lake. I think there's some native species too, but I don't know as much about them.
There's not a harder fighting fish than a carp.
Yes. Yes.
We have carp in our rivers around here, and when I used to go fishing a lot for steelhead, or basically trout, big trout, every once in a while I'd hook a carp, and it would be like, oh my God, this is the biggest steelhead of my life. Oh my God. And it would fight forever. And then it would just be this like 2, 3, 4 pound little carp, but man,
Yeah,
those
they're
things
strong.
they're strong
They're strong, man.
fish.
They're strong.
But they're no
Super
good
strong.
eating. They're bony and they're not worth cooking up.
No. Well, in Australia, if you catch them, you're actually not meant to throw them back. You're meant to kill them because they're invasive.
Oh yeah, you know
Yeah,
here
so-
we have a fish called the snakehead, and
Yes.
on the East Coast, it's finding its way into lakes and streams in Florida and stuff, and it's the most evil, fucked up fish. Its head looks just like a snake, and it's got ferocious teeth, and it'll literally just spontaneously lurch out and chomp on whatever. And it's killing indigenous species of other fish, you know, and they're young and they're older ones that just, you know, if they make their way into the pond or the lake or the stream, you know, they overtake it. And
Yeah.
so same deal. If you catch a snakehead, you smash it, you know, throw it up on the yep, totally.
Anyway, Arch, I just came to say hello there. I'm gonna head off. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, man, I want to
Jake.
say something to you. It is
Yeah.
fantastic to have you on the screen, Jake.
Yes.
And,
it's beautiful around here.
By the
It's a
way,
beautiful day in Melbourne.
don't be negative. You know what? Enjoy the car. Enjoy it. Just appreciate it. And you know what? Just
But
take
you know
it
what?
easy.
You know what? There, Arch, I've declared no more lifestyle creep. We're done with lifestyle creep. We've got the watches. We got the car. We're done with lifestyle creep. Do you understand? We're saving money from here on out. We got the rent coming in. You know, we got the bank balance being smashing upwards. The squiggly line's got to go up, and that's how we need it to stay. Because otherwise, you just endlessly chase this shit, right? Like a Mercedes is more than good enough for me. My 4-piece Hunger Buster combo meal deal is more than enough for me. My place is lovely. I don't need anything else. And now it's about sorting that shit out that you know about, Archie, and then investing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking done with lifestyle creep.
We got a super chat from Basil's Beazle, member for 29 months. Hey, Mikey, your beeper is going off.
Is it? I don't have my hearing aids on,
Sorry.
so if it is, it is. Fuck.
Oh, it is. Yeah. What's it for?
It's for low blood sugar.
Oh, eat a banana. Where's the banana, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop off for a couple minutes and eat some sugar.
Okay, tell Philippe, Mike, for clarity, is it the snake, or do we just called snake, or is it truly full form Mike of Caesar the snake?
Just call me Psycho Snake. See,
Snake.
I got the
No
team Psycho right here.
We've got HR joining us. How are you, HR?
Oh,
Be right back.
Hey, where you going, Mike? Jake, you know one thing? You know I hate the Labour Party?
yes.
Because you're all PC and full of shit.
Full of shit. I know.
What have you
Of
got to say to
course.
that?
Of course, I agree. Of course.
You're all full of shit.
Yeah.
Everybody is full of shit, HR. Everybody is full of shit.
I mean, look, you think you're everything now. Now you're ordering a Mercedes. You think you're the dog's bollocks. You're full of shit, Jake.
Hey,
So why is that? Why is
we've
that?
got a
HR? Why is
celebrity
that?
joining us here. We've got Lewis joining us. How, Lewis? How are you?
Pontiff, I'm well. How are you?
Music career going? Tell me what's happening.
It's going really well, actually. I have to say, I'm not famous, but well, I'm well known where I live. But really well, it pays very well. I have to say, I can't complain.
Well, that's
Why
fantastic.
are
It's been a
you
long
a celeb,
time.
Lewis? I haven't met you before. Why are you a celeb?
I'm not really, man. I'm a musician.
Musician. He's doing really well for
Oh,
himself.
congrats! What type
Thanks.
of music?
Thanks, man. It's just well-known pop music, to be honest with you. It's like a lot of covers, and I do release some songs that I've written too, which are on Spotify and all of that sort of thing.
So what? You're just getting heaps of bookings? Like, how's it going?
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Basically, yeah. But
Hey,
I do
What's the name of the band? What's the
Thank you.
name of your band?
Well, I've got a few, Archie. So obviously my name's Lewis Curry, and you'll find me as a solo artist there. But I have another band called The Next Day, which is like a nod to David Bowie's music. He had an album called The Next Day, so I have that.
Yeah, it's a good album. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I like it too.
The next day,
Hey, did you
and another
hear
day.
Quincy Jones recently just died?
Yeah, it's sad, man. He's
91, I think. 91.
He had a good innings, obviously, but yeah, he's responsible for a lot of really good music. But I suppose when you get to 91, you are like, it's coming to the end, isn't it? Sometimes. But so it was a bit sad to hear. He was a legend in the music world. But I've been thinking about coming back on here for a really long time, and as time goes on, you just sort of think the next thing you know, it's like 6 months later. But
Lewis,
yeah,
do you think? I'm being honest with you here. Maybe you're a bit too good to come on the show.
Do you think?
Yeah,
no, man. I love Archie. I love Archie to death, man. He's one of
Me too, obviously.
I've been watching him for so long, man, and I saw a video come up the other day. My career is over, and I thought, hell no.
Yeah,
but what I mean is, Lewis, is that what happens is, I've done this 10 years full time. The last time I had a normal job was September 2014.
Yeah.
It's just over 10 years. But, when you're in the creative industries, it's easy to burn out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. It
Hey,
happens.
Are there any government grants you can apply for creative types like you, Arch? Surely there's some kind of scholarship.
Let me these two super chats. Patel Philippe, $2. AC3, is Lewis your answer to Sir E. Danny?
I don't know who that is.
And
he's a famous musician like you.
Patel Philippe, $2. Play Danny's song and let Lewis professional take. Okay, let's. This is a guy who was in the Archie verse who wrote a song. Let's have a look.
Oh.
Today I was excommunicated. Archie's viper eyes came out and his pupils dilated. He said I was a cunt, and then I burnt him. But what he forgets is all the money that I earned him, and I am employed by you, and I never signed a contract. You can't always have it your way. Tell me, fuckers, what do you think of that? Fuck you, Archie, I'm over it. Have you had your cry? Your punters have gone walking, 'cause you're an ignorant guy. They try to talk to you, but you never want to listen. Go over the top when I give you a little bit of constructive constructive criticism. Now I guess you won't hear this song, Archie, 'cause I blocked you. But someone else in the group will forward it, so I'll make sure it gets to you. Archie, I won't be back. Take away my wrench, 'cause I don't need it anymore. Since Archie showed me the door. Fuck you, Archie, you fucking miserable cunt.
There
Look,
we go,
man.
songwriter extraordinaire.
The lyrical content is there. I like that. Is he English?
Yes, he is. I think he's from Essex, actually.
Essex, okay.
I'm not sure.
That's quite far from me. Yeah, somewhere you can hear he's English. He's I like the lyrics, but his technical ability is not quite there.
Yeah, he's almost there. He's almost there. He's almost.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't flow. But yeah, I like it. It's all right, isn't it? I like it.
Tell me this. What sort of music is actually very popular as far as the covers go? 70s covers? What sort of classics do they like?
There's what we call standards in music that no matter what sort of way you play, they'll go down well. And where I am, it's things like people love Oasis here.
Oasis, yes.
Yeah, and they love even shit like Ed Sheeran and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
But old music goes down quite well. What I would call old music as well. I play like Earth, Wind and Fire, September quite a lot, and even George Benson, like Give Me the Night. It's just like anthems, really bigger than. I'm sure it'd be the same in Australia, is it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's many years ago they had a competition, it's like, you know, where they had Susan Boyle type competition in Australia.
yeah.
And this Korean lady won, and
Right.
she got a bit. She won a contract with Sony. Okay,
Yeah. Big.
that was part of. But she was upset. They got her to do covers. They got her to do the Carpenter covers. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And she got pissed off. She said, "Oh, I got to be honest." She said, "Oh, I did all these covers, and I really would have preferred to if we put the effort into the songs that she had written."
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, I actually preferred the covers. I think Sony was right.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's if when you do a cover, you're already building the market upon a successful song. Any new music is a gamble, isn't it? It's a gamble, and a lot of time record companies don't want to take the risk of something new. Even in the film industry, you see it, Archie. They want to remake things. They don't want to come up with something new. They want something that already works.
Yes, something that already works. Because it's a business. Don't forget, it's a business, and they want to make money. That's what it's all about.
What is? It's a numbers game, and eventually, I'll not get too political into it, sort of thing. But eventually it will be that people are sort of reluctant to make anything new because all they care about is plays on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. It's all about, you have to be the biggest in the world to be making a lot of money out of these things. You really do.
The music industry is very tough, but it's like, did you want to you want to become a signed artist? Is that a big thing for yourself to become a signed artist, or it's not really, that's not the thing anymore?
For me personally, it always was. I've always wanted to do that. As I've gotten older, what I'm hoping to do now is to be a musician for those people instead. So I've done that a couple of times, like a session musician. But in the meantime, I tend to play gigs sort of as me being the singer, me being the not the attraction, but like the front man of it. But it's all covers, you see. But I would like to be a session player, like to work with famous people, but as an employee, not as the famous person. But again, that's a hard game to get into, and I kind of skirt around it. I do a little bit of that sometimes, but because do you know this? It's to be a session player with a big artist, it's like £100,000 a year salary. It's a big salary if you get into it.
Yes.
You get salary.
Exactly. I know. Let me catch up on these super chats.
Yeah,
we got super chats. We got Rich Mitch, £2. Where is Lewis from? He sounds familiar to me. Where are you from, Lewis?
So I'm from a place called Sunderland in the north of England. It's the biggest city, sort of close to me, that people will know as Newcastle upon Tyne. So I live just outside of there. I'm not sure. Rich should let you know where he's from. I would like to compare the distance, because it always surprises me. The people you have on this show are just from everywhere in the world. I like that.
Yes.
Mark Goldberg, I remember Mark. And even Clive. Do you remember Clive?
Yes, I remember Clive. Who doesn't remember the Clivers? He is
a funny story, Archie. He rang me once because he had. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but you'll laugh at this. He rang me. I really got on with the guy. He was really nice, but he rang me once when he was in the bath and he was clearly pissed out of his tree. And he was sort of rambling nonsense. But it went on for ages. But that's my last memory of Clive. So it was a strange one.
That can't be Clivers. Which one is
it? Clive was the lawyer, wasn't he?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now. It was back, it was during COVID, when at the point in COVID where we didn't know if we were ever going to come out of it. It was like that sort of way back then.
Oh, I see. Jeez. We got another super chat here from Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, what's on the wrist in the collection? And what are you looking to buy?
Well, I last time I spoke to you, I had a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, a black dial, 2018 model. Was about, I think it was the 36. I can't remember if it was 36 or 37. I had an Omega Constellation automatic, and unfortunately I sold both of them to buy a house because they were worth so much money. I think I got about £7,000 for both of them together, which was okay at the time. So I sort of put all of the money into that, and then I had a Tudor 1926. I think that's right, leather strap, and I sold that. Then I had a Cartier tank, just one of those ones that you hate, the quartz vermeil gold-plated ones. I had that, sold it. And now I'm at the point where I haven't got anything good anymore, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come on, because I need something again, and I just don't know what.
That's exactly it there. We've got Rich Mitch, £2. I'm from Northumberland. Lewis is a Macam.
That's right. I certainly am. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a bad thing to be around here. We are the lowest class in the Northeast. So, so
you'll fit right in here.
To be honest with you, Lewis, I'll tell you what's happened in the watch game. The watch market is very, actually, it is. Look, it's not over, but it has had significant issues. You were probably very lucky to get out of those watches when you did, because you would be taking. They're hard to move. Some of that stuff you mentioned is super hard to move.
What we're talking, Archie, like at Rolex, what we're talking now in terms of market value?
Look, Rolex itself, there, I tell you honestly, you know, look, I tell you this, it's not so much the prices have gone down. Like, you look around the traps, you really won't see bargains. But if you wanted to trade something in, say you had a Rolex, they would really crucify you on the price. You know what I mean? So it's not so much that it's cheaper to buy, but if you wanted to sell one. Now, I must tell you this. You bought a house. That's fantastic news. A house is always a beautiful thing. You bought that with your fiance?
Yeah, no, we're not engaged, but I bought it with her, yeah. She's a lot younger than me, though, you see. So, well, not a lot. I'm 31, she's 22. So she's quite young to be in the mortgage game, but we managed somehow.
Wow.
The house was only 100,000, though. It wasn't where I live. Actually, you can get a lot for your money because it's not the best area. But
that's okay. You got to put in the door, Lewis.
You got to start somewhere, right?
And hey, you know, that's Patel Philippe, $5. AC3, did Lewis ever come on? He has in the past. Yeah, you came on a few times. Does he know Gin? Seems like from the pre-COVID era. Yes.
I think I remember Gin. I can't remember much, but I remember his name coming around. I'm trying to remember who.
You wanted to get a date just at one stage, I think, didn't you? I remember.
Yeah, I've always loved the date just. Always loved it. And I even like the ones which are a bit. I think you used to have one, if I remember right. Even the ones that are a bit flashy, like even the two-tone. Well, obviously the fluted bezel with you know, the diamonds on the so the new. I even like those, but I had one of them once for a short amount of time. It was back again. This was when the market was ridiculous. I think I paid $6,500 for it, and in the end, I couldn't justify it. I was mostly because of buying this and whatever. I couldn't keep it, but ultimately, I would love to have a date. Just I love the Jubilee bracelet. You see, that's my preferred bracelet. And you can put them on leather and everything, can't you? You can do a lot with them.
Play around with them. Look, I got to tell you, seriously, I think there are some really good buys around there. Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, thoughts on Ed Sheeran playing music with a World Time? He's got a World Time Patek Philippe on. Archie said those are only for the safe since he never wears his.
My favorite watch that Patek make is the World Time. Always has been. And the one, do you still have yours, Archie, or not? The gold one?
Actually, I'll tell you what happened. Actually, very sadly, I went to America in 2022, and I had them in a big safe. I had this 1,000-kilo safe. Whilst I was away, burglars fucking cut into it and stole my entire collection.
Yeah. I remember hearing about this. Yeah, horrifying.
Yeah, very, very sad. I did buy another World Time. I do have a white gold world time now, which I
Yeah.
am very happy to have. But
Yeah.
the joke is, I don't keep watches at home anymore. I keep them in the bank safe, and therefore I don't tend to wear them much, which is
I
that's
don't
a
blame
bit
you really after that.
discouraging.
It's traumatizing, really. I really
Yeah,
don't blame you. But I look
yeah.
that being said, it is to have that piece is unbelievable. It's really one of the best things they've ever made design wise. But Ed Sheeran wearing one to play music, fair play to him, to be honest. Him and John Mayer seem, as far as musicians go, seem to be the big watch collectors. Whereas they actually have really decent stuff. It's not just like the most expensive stuff you can get with diamonds and then diamonds again. It's like they have some really classy stuff. Have you seen John Mayer's signature AP, the Royal Oak with the his AP have made a partnership with him, and his AP, the Royal Oak, the one he designed, sells for $250,000, I think.
Oh, it's incredible. It's sort of it's amazing. We got Patel Philippe, $10. Important question, Lewis. If you got a Patek World Time bespoke made, but the brand said you could only pick between red and white straps or black and white straps, what would the Sunderland boy say?
Man. Well, here we go. I knew as soon as I read red stripes, red and white and black and white, I knew it had something to do with the rivalry between where I live and the closest city. It would have to be red and white. I love the color red on watches anyway. It's not used as much as it should be. It probably has happened, but I would love to have a Rolex with a red dial, but like actual red, not. I think they've got like an orangey coral sort of thing at the minute, but like.
Yeah, the coral. That's right. Yes.
Like proper red, like that. I would love to. I'd love to have a watch with a red dial. I know you can get them. I'm trying to think, but anyway, yeah. To answer your question, it would be red and white for me.
It'd be great if Rolex made a red Milgauss with a red crystal, like in that color. That would be epic.
Oh man, I would be straight into that. I mean, not that you would be able to get one, I guess, but
no, that's exactly
I would be straight.
Right.
I would be straight into that. I'll be on the waiting list for a good 10 years for it. Probably, actually, with my purchase history, I wouldn't make it to the list.
No, it's a tough thing there. It is a very, very tough request there. It's Lewis. It's absolutely fantastic to hear that you're pursuing your dream and you're able to. I mean, a lot of musicians, it's not an easy gig. It's not an easy gig. No. It's because you have a lot of downtime, and you've got to factor that in. But that is fantastic to hear. You're giving it a shot and giving it a try.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, yeah, man. You've got to, haven't you? Because you regret it if you don't. I will tell you this though. I did since I've seen you last. Since I saw you last. Sorry. I've always done the gigs, but I also did because I've got a degree in music and a teaching degree. So I did. Do you call it secondary school teaching where you're from? Like ages 11 to 16? Yeah. So I did secondary school teaching for a year straight, full time, and that was hell. So
yeah, those kids can be brutal.
They can, man, and for me, even it wasn't even just that. It's the amount of work you're expected to do for the amount of pay. I think I was coming out with not even 30,000 for this full time teaching job. Yeah, and go on.
Oh, my ex, who I paid for to put her through school to be a school teacher, apparently teachers in America, it used to be said were never paid what they were supposed to be paid, but apparently it's different. She's making well over 100,000 American, like within just a few years.
I've heard that, man. I've heard it's much better over your side.
Yeah, it's just
it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel worth it.
Well, you gotta respect teachers more than probably anybody else, and it's just kind of ironic that for so long they've always been just kind of so underpaid and underappreciated. When we give them our kids and allow them to bend them into people. You know,
Yeah.
like 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day, we send
Mm.
our kids off to these people that are supposed to make our kids correct, right? And
For sure, man.
you know,
It's a lot
it's
of
like
responsibility.
yeah, no, I mean, it's a huge responsibility, especially because you got asshole kids and you got
Mm.
serious kids and you know and kids can just be brutal, you know, even up into the junior high school realm, but younger
Yeah.
kids and
We got a super chat. Let me catch up. Rich Mitch, £2. Black and white versus red and white. I think you said red and white. You would definitely do.
It is for
And
me,
we've
but for
got
Rich, it'll be black and white.
Lewis.
Yes.
This is Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, did you know AC3 came to the UK this year? He walked around
certainly
mostly in his
did.
underwear complaining about how the British don't garage their cars.
I knew that he was here and I wanted to see him. However, in fact, I still have a WhatsApp message here. I didn't know if he remembered me, so I wasn't going to hound him. But I did want to see him, so if he ever comes back, I will meet up with him. But I see, as Rich will know, where I live is about, by car, is about 5 or 6 hours to London, which is where he was. And you have to know that you're going down there for a reason, because it's also impossible to drive there around London. So pretty much anyway. But what they don't garage their cars. There isn't a lot of garage space in London, though. That's probably what it is. It's up here we do. But also cars don't last very long in England. They do now that they're built better. But in the 70s and 80s, cars fell to bits because we're too close to the sea. Especially where I'm from. It still happens, to be honest with you. And I've done I hear you talk about your BMW, Archie. I've done everything stupid you can possibly do with cars. I've done it.
Yes.
So now I have a boring Nissan Qashqai.
That's a nice car. They're not cheap.
No, but they're bloody dull and expensive, actually.
You can at least you got some storage stuff. You can go to gigs. You can take a bit of stuff with you.
Yeah, it's spacious.
That's not a bad car. They're not so cheap.
Yeah. No,
what kind of car is this?
It's
Nissan.
It's a Nissan baby SUV. It's sort of like an SUV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's quite a.
They're all right. But listen,
it's a car.
Well,
it's utility car.
It's utility.
It's a car. It's a car. You know,
it does its job, man.
Exactly. It functions for you. It does.
Well, I had a Range Rover. One of those
trouble.
Yeah. Endless. I'll not bore you with it, but like one of the first days I got it, the glove box wouldn't stay up. So the light.
How old was it? It was
quite old. It was secondhand. It was quite old. So it was,
How much did you pay for the Range Rover?
Not a lot. It was about 4,500. So it was used. But anyway, I took the guy to court in the end. Won the court case, but thanks to the British justice system, nothing happened anyway.
He was a private seller or a car dealer?
A dealer, yeah. And he sold me a car which he had put through a fraudulent MOT to make it look like it was fine, when I had it checked out, it was not. So I lost all that. So that was one of the dumb things.
How much did you get for it when you sold it?
Nothing, scrap. Basically, scrap. I've got about 1,000. So I lost quite a lot of money there. It was partly my fault. I should have done, as you know, you bought yours from a dealer. Look, it was a used car dealer. So, I'm not going into the details about what this guy was like, but really looking back on it, I shouldn't have been surprised that he wasn't right. It was a proper dealership. Wasn't online or anything, but looking back, there was a few red flags. You have to be careful with cars, don't you? It's
You know what used car dealerships do is often buy from auctions, police seizures, things like that, and or they'll buy the slightly crashed cars and send them over to their personal body shops.
Swinging Kangaroo. By the way, happy birthday, Swinging Kangaroo. $5. Hello, Archie, miss and love always. It's his birthday. He's just celebrated his birthday. Swinging Kangaroo, great to hear from you. Rich Mitch, £2. Northeast Living is where it's at. Best in England.
It is good up here. Can't deny.
So
It's
so
still-
that's basically whereabouts. What areas are that there?
Sunderland, Newcastle upon Tyne, Northumberland,
Yep.
where Rich is, which is like the countryside.
Yeah.
Basically, just before you get to Scotland, southwards
okay. Long
for
way
about
from London. How far from London?
to drive it would be five hours, I would think.
5 hours. Wow.
Round
Wow.
about, yeah,
Long
it's quite
way.
far. Archie, listen, what are you? Do you wear? Are you even wearing a watch at all anymore?
I am. I got a bluesy two-tone Submariner.
Oh, okay,
Two-tone
yeah.
Submariner.
Yeah, you can't complain
Bluesy,
about that.
beautiful
Then
watch.
that's
They're
good.
ceramics. So, but they've fallen in price too. Prices have fallen a lot. They've fallen. We got Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, what would you say is worse? What you've done to voxels over your time versus Archery butchering a 5508 vintage sub into a two-tone. Patel's giving me shtick there, but I bought it as a two-tone. That's a very old 5508 is a no crown guard Submariner, very early 50s, 1950s, very rare animal. 50s, early 60s, very rare animal indeed there. And
they look amazing without the crown guards. I do like crown guards, obviously, but
yeah, no, that's exactly it. They do look amazing without that there. Tell me this, Lewis. Yeah, so you've had. My son is actually training to become a teacher. He wants to become a maths teacher, but I think the education system is different in Australia to England. England seems to. It's a very difficult place. The pay's not that great, and you said it was the worst thing, I think, is teaching kids who don't want to learn, isn't it?
Yeah, because you just can't win with that.
No. So do you still do the teaching, or you've left teaching completely?
Yeah, I've left completely. The last day of teaching I did was the 22nd of December, the year just gone. So I've been out for nearly a whole year, and I make a lot more money now. I have to say, it's not all about money, but I've probably doubled the salary by just doing gigs. And also, I wouldn't like to say that I'm soft, but I was getting absolutely battered by this job. I don't know if you've ever had a job where you feel at the end of it, just completely gutted and exhausted.
Sucks the energy out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What do you do, man? By the way, I didn't even ask.
Myself, presently, right now, I care for my mother. She's got cancer, and she's got a short time to live. So most of my time is spent caring for her. But before that, and I'm gonna probably fire it back up again here soon. I've been working as an artist, making resin pour with burl wood and other mediums, making vases and urns and bowls and things. But I've done so many different things in my life. The list is very long.
That's cool, man. Yeah, a lot of different skills.
My true loves are cars and motorcycles and watches.
You had a motorcycle too, didn't you, Lewis?
I've wanted one. I don't think I've not had one, but I've thought about it quite a few times.
Stay off that. They're dangerous. Stay away
from I'd probably die. I'd probably die if I got on. In fact, I've seen that before on the motorway here, near where I live. The speed limit here is 70 miles an hour. I don't know how it compares to where you are, but I've seen a guy like literally somersault through the air off a motorbike, and I went over thinking he would be dead, and somehow he was still alive. But after that, I thought.
Yeah, that's the same limit we've got. We've got 110 kilometers. That's the maximum speed limit. And that's you've got to be careful.
Is your government, Archie, a right wing or left wing government at the minute?
We have a Labour government, a left wing government in.
Yeah, so
and they love speed cameras. Both sides in this country here love infringement notices. It's I tell you what, really, look, I'm not one way or the other. I'm pissed off with both sides.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't understand why governments go after law-abiding citizens. They want to try and trap you and get you in trouble. You know, they want to trap you.
They want to go after people who are going to pay the fines.
Exactly.
And here we have the same. We have a Labour government who are going down a route of sort of censorship and control like no other government ever before. This is my opinion, obviously, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten more and more right wing. I have to say, I started off being quite left wing, but now I'm sort of it's getting ridiculous here. I'm sure it's the same there because I think you've been Labour for quite a while now, haven't you, government wise?
Yes.
But yeah, it's something that's going to happen in this country in the next 10
Oh,
years.
no. We had a conservative government. No, we did have a conservative during COVID. That was a conservative government. But I've got to tell you, I don't think you can put your faith into governments to solve your problems.
No.
And you know, it's Patel Philippe, $2. Lewis, thoughts on TVRs?
They look cool.
That's that kind of kit car. They're kind of a British kit car.
Yeah,
Trevors. They're called Trevors, aren't they? They're kind of TVRs are kind of like a.
Well,
I think they were poorly built. Honest.
Well, everything
attempts
English
at
is poorly
cars.
built.
Well, no,
Would
I
you
had
get a
Triumph
Rover?
PR4 that was awesome. But
they had a really popular model over here, which I'm trying to find, that used to see quite a lot of these. They look good, but I've never driven one. They're not very well, from what I've seen, they're not very common anymore over here. You don't see very many. But there was a time when you did. They were sort of like they were popular. They were that well known, but yeah, it was something like, I don't know if you can see, it was something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a TVR. That's a TVR. Yes. Yes.
Did you used to get them in Australia or not?
Oh, look, they were always. No. You don't see.
Nice interior though.
I used to read the British car magazines. You kind of see them in the British car magazines. That's where.
Oh yeah.
You do see those British car magazines, but I gotta say, tell me this: you're 31. I remember you came on probably 5 years ago, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you're right.
You were younger. Yes. What's changed? Are you cynical now of the world, or you've had a? Is it? How do you feel?
To be honest with you, yes, but not in a way that I feel is negative. I've just realized that nearly everything is just chaos. Like, for example, yourself, the stuff you've been through recently, you just think you couldn't write that, could you? And, you know, likewise, I mean, we're not talking about, as you know, I'm not relevant to what you've been through, but you just think life is mad. It's totally, you can't predict it.
Yeah, because you know, I lost one of my sons, didn't you? You know that was
terrible.
It's beyond. And I mean, he went down a bad path. You know, he was in the party drug scene. You know, that's what happened. And the sad thing is, you know, he was still my son. Whether he took drugs or he didn't, it's irrelevant.
Of course.
And this is the sad thing is, it can be so brutal. He's never coming back. You know, it's not like, oh, we can apologize. He does something. It's over. We will never see him. And I got to be honest with you, Lewis. It's a very tough thing to bear. Like, I find psychologically, you go through some of these things. It's incredibly tough. And the world is. The world can be hard as well.
Just tell me if you don't answer these questions, but when you've lost somebody that close to you, because Archie, I'll be honest, I haven't lost anybody that close.
No,
not immediate family. What do you still dream of them? Do you still, what does it feel like day to day?
Oh, look, the thing is, if you lose someone that close there, it's kind of, look, to start with, it's the numbness, just the numbness. He's never coming back. It's the realize, like his birthday comes, or he used to always hit me up for cash. He always wanted, hey, Dad, can you lend me $20? Can you send me, can you buy me a pizza? Can you do this? And it just, you kind of, even though it was annoying, it stops. And, you know, like things like his birthday or my birthday, like he used to say, hey, Daddy-o. That was kind of his, he had always a smirky greeting and a, hey, Daddy-o. He's always had he had a positive kind of vibe to him. And unfortunately, that is over. And, you know, it's really a horrible experience. I tell you honestly, I just keep peddling. I think if you analyze it too much and you think about it, I went through a really bad patch where I was actually listening. His mum picked 3 really good tunes for his funeral, and I started playing them a lot. One of them was the Harry Styles song, "Sign of the Times." I used to play.
Yeah.
That was my son's one of his favorite tunes. I found out. I never had heard of it before he died. I'd never heard of that song, and I probably played it 100 times since he's died. And it's not a good thing because it takes me back to the funeral where, not that the funeral was terrible. I actually quite enjoyed the funeral, but it's kind of I play that song. That's not a good place to be for me. I gotta say, okay, he has passed away. Me being really sad is not going to bring him back, you know, and that's the whole thing. It's not going to bring him back. I gotta really focus. It's kind of strange. It's kind of like you lose your enthusiasm for a lot of things. Sometimes, like I'm in the entertainment, the arts area, right? And I got to be totally honest with you. Sometimes I just wish I could just fucking just go away and have a mundane clerical job, you know? Because when you're an artist, like you're obviously in the music, I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
You kind of you put yourself out there, and people don't realize this, but sometimes you can easily burn out and be affected by things.
For sure, especially something like that. I mean, that's just there's no. It cannot get worse than that. There is nothing worse than losing a son. So
no, that is, parents should not bury their children. That's a fucking first rule of life. It's the wrong way around. And but you know, look, I tell you honestly, it is very tough. I just keep peddling. If I stop peddling and analyze it too much, that's also not good. So, Lewis, you know, I tell you honestly, you have to. It's just a numbness. It's numb. It's more so it's a numbness you have. It's kind of doesn't leave. I think the more time you have, like it's just tragedy. You know, like you keep thinking he was 28. Fuck, I would. That's so 28, such a young age. I'd love to be. You're older than 28. 28 was a great age to be. You know, But we got another super chat from the Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, you think Archie would prefer a Panic L3 or a Savoy dip if he was up in North? What is that?
So the first one, I don't have a clue. But the Savoy dip, I think I already know you would like that. It's a like a sausage sandwich, but a different type of sausage where it's like this. You know how sausages you can put stuff in them like spices, whatever.
Yes.
It's a particular type of sausage that we have up here that's kind of red in color, and you put it in a sandwich, and it's amazing. I already know you would love that. I already know. So that would be the answer for that one. Please keep them coming, though. I like these questions.
I'm just checking out that Panic Italy is a beef or lamb casserole traditional throughout the northeast of London, with links to Sutherland and the wider County Durham. So
County Durham's close to me. Yeah.
There you go. It sounds interesting.
I've never had one of those actually. Yeah, I'm not that exciting. My diet's pretty terrible actually. It's good. Well,
yes,
could be worse.
Yes,
but.
It's so tell me this. You know, with the business that you're in there, you with the entertainment business itself there. What is the what is the situation? You making a good living? What how do you what do you mainly do now? You do some gigs or you
All gigs,
how,
Archie. I'll tell you frankly how much it is, because I think you're pretty frank on your channel.
Sure.
With what too frank with the details, but
Yes.
we all love that. Financial details. We're probably talking about £1,000 a week.
Yeah.
With the gig. So it's roughly between 3,600 to 4,000 a month, which sort of turns out, I don't know. I'm gonna have a look here.
What would you
So
do if it ended? Would you go back to teaching, or what would you do yourself there?
Well, I think so. If I was thinking clearly, I probably would do that. But when I was younger, I actually used to be a firefighter, and I've often thought that if it all
firefighting, that's a great job.
Yeah, it was really good while it lasted, and well, again, thanks to the government, they went through a stage of a lot of redundancy. So I took voluntary redundancy.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I got a good payout, and then so I went and did the teaching instead. You see, so I would probably like to go back and do that if I had to, but it's not paid as well as what I do now. But it's not all about money.
No, I understand. Rich Mitch, £2. How Patel Philippe knows so much about Northeast. I think he lived up there for a while.
Really?
Because he was in Scotland for a while.
Okay.
He was in Scotland, see? So that area is not far from Scotland. And he was there doing some IT work, I think. I think Patel... And same as I don't know if Jin was there. I can't remember. But
do you ever get sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Do you ever get Mark Goldberg on anymore?
Oh, he comes on a fair bit. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I love Mark.
Because he's somebody he's became
come on,
Mark Goldberg. He's a dog trainer, world famous dog trainer.
Yeah, I talk to him now and then, Archie. I really like him. He's a great guy.
He is, and that's is that a Russian blue cat there?
She looks a bit like one. We think her dad might have been a Russian blue, but her mother was like a sort of like black, sort of what we would call a moggy, just like a normal cat.
Yeah, what a lovely cat there, hey.
She's lovely. Yeah, she's a really nice girl. Do you have pets? Because I know you like animals, don't you? Have bees?
Yeah, I do like animals. I kind of, because I travel a bit, it makes it hard to have pets. But you know, it's they're just fantastic creatures to have around you. And
do you remember this? Sorry to interrupt. Do you remember?
Yeah,
there was a guy on YouTube. I actually really like his channel. He's called Tim Hollhauser. He's got a channel called he's a German guy, and he does watch reviews, and one of the things he did was analyzing famous watch people, and you were one of them.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, he's great. Uptick. What was his name? Oh, what was his channel called?
I'll try and find out. It's a good channel, mind. It's really good. I like it.
Yeah, he had really good. He always dressed really well.
Yeah, he liked you, mind. He tried his best to give you a bit of shit, but in the end, he was like, oh no, I like this guy because he loves bees.
Yeah,
and he likes recycling.
No, that's What did you think of the new Patek that's come out? Did you like that?
I do actually. Do you?
The Cubitus.
I think
I
like
it. It is a very interesting. We've got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Lewis, thoughts on Archie kicking 5 boxes of Fortnum and Mason's Violet and Rose cream chocolates, nicking from the London Airbnb for his own. I only took 1 box, maybe two.
What? So you paid to stay there, and you took a box of chocolates that was provided.
They had some lying around, and I just took them in the morning. And no one had,
Listen, man. Listen. Who can ever criticize you for eating those things? They're amazing.
They're expensive. Fortnum and Mason's is an expensive chocolate. It's
never even heard of it.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
they're expensive.
Company
English
in London.
Brand.
Yeah. Did you like London when you came here? Sorry.
Oh, look, I really love London. The big problem I found is that it's very, even if it's Sunday, if it's only 20 miles to go, it's always traffic jam.
Yeah.
And London is really, I didn't know the trains or the buses terribly well, but it is very expensive. You know, like London is not cheap. I can say that. You know, it's I actually like the weather. I like the cooler kind of weather there, and it's got a nice kind of, London is very green. I love, like, you know, you go to Hyde Park, you got squirrels. That's incredible.
It's cool, isn't it?
Really, it's really, I really liked London. Unfortunately, you got a bit of a bad element there too. You know, like any big city, you're always going to have, you know, people who would want to take advantage of you and things like that. That's the kind of a sad thing about London. But you know, the thing with London is, if you are fortunate to stay in that Piccadilly, you know, those really expensive areas, London is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's I got to tell you, I got a British passport. The problem with England is that it's just so expensive to live in a lot of these places now. And unfortunately, the opportunities, I don't think there's as many opportunities as people would want there. You don't want people to be on the bones of their ass there.
It's happening a lot that in this country at the minute. People are desperate, actually. Some people. And the further south you go, the worse it gets, I think.
Exactly. And I got to tell you, I'll just get the Mikey up there on the screen there. I got to say, London is really, you know, the problem is London is great if you got money. If you don't have money, it's not so great.
Yeah.
How do you find it itself? You're like, you got a home. You just bought a home. That's amazing.
Well, I was going to say I could show you what you can get for 100,000 in the northeast. So this is, I hope you can see that all right. So this is like a kitchen here. It's a bit hard to gauge how big it is, really. I'll try to show you this. Tell me if this is so dull you can't bear it. But
no, it's okay.
This
is that's a bathroom.
Yeah, so it's quite a nice. Hopefully, I mean, that's a cat toilet there. So like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's done quite. I did all that, which and I'm not saying that it's good, but it helped with the costs. And then you have this sort of like hallway thing here.
So how old is the house? How old is the house?
Pretty old. It's about 100 years old, this one. You might like this, actually. So this is like the traditional sort of British, well, some people will call it a lounge or a sitting room or whatever. That's the piano. And that all original sort of fireplace and whatever.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's nice. It's cozy.
It's quite nice. It is, yeah. It's
piano.
Yeah, so I've just got this piano here. So this was about £350 from an old church, and then £400 to move it.
Oh, that's great. It's a little baby grand piano.
Exactly, yeah. So I know you used to have one, actually, didn't you? You had a baby.
I still got it. Yeah.
Oh, you still got it? Oh, that's good to know. So that, I mean, but a house like this in London would be. Well, I paid 100,000 on mortgage, and it probably would be. It could be $500,000, and it's just because it's a different area. I know that does happen everywhere, but it's ridiculous actually in London. That's why you get people paying to live in a room the size of this kitchen for £1,000 a month. It's just insane.
It is. London is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's, as you say, it's not always pretty either. But it's sort of like, where will it end, Archie? How expensive will it get before they start to realize it's not sustainable for people? I don't know. It's a more sort of culture in England, isn't it? It's our class system here is still so sort of ingrained into culture, and I know in America I've heard it's less obvious. You have a much bigger middle class than we do.
Yeah, the middle class is being squeezed. However,
yeah, quickly shrinking.
Is it? Yeah,
very much being squeezed. But you know what?
You've got your election, haven't you? So
they got the election up tomorrow. In 12 hours time. It's incredible. And
what do you think?
I hope it doesn't turn violent. I don't like it how that if one side doesn't win, it's anarchy. And I don't think honestly, I can't see. I mean, I'm an outsider, so it's hard for me to gauge this stuff, but I can't see how things are rigged. I really don't think they're rigged. Okay, let's just now. I mean, the thing is, if they were so rigged, Trump would never have gotten in the first place.
Well, true.
You know, it's sort of. But I got to say to you, in all honesty, with any of these things, I think democracy. It's good that sides change. I think change is a good thing, and I really think I'm not that keen on the new British Prime Minister's new taxes and death duty. Oh, you know, we have no death duties in Australia. You know that we don't have death duties.
No, I didn't know that. It's he's a weird one for us because he I didn't vote for him, you see, but he was a KC, like a very, very senior lawyer for the country.
That's correct. The King's Counsel. That's like a top lawyer. They don't have that in America. They just have lawyer. They don't have king.
Right.
King's Counsel.
Like
used to be Queen's Counsel. King's Counsel.
Yeah. And it's weird, Archie, because he obviously did that, and I respect him for that. To have a career like that sets you apart.
Oh,
from
that's
any
an
other
incredible
sort of
career.
And but the thing is, if you look into him, the cases he was involved with were really not sort of stuff you would like a future leader of a country to be involved with. He was involved with a huge paedophile case here of a famous person, and he sort of like didn't go after his prosecution, stuff like this.
Yeah, but I mean, as a barrister, you have to go whatever side comes in. You know how hard it is to get work as a barrister. Like I know what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But his case, the British legal system, is not for you to decide who's guilty or innocent. It's for you to fight your cause either way, and the best defense. Well, hopefully the truth comes out with that sort of shit. Hopefully the truth. If you know, I don't ever think you would.
Well, no, I agree. I totally agree with that. It should all be fairly done. Even if you are guilty, you're still entitled to legal representation. That's lawful. But
so
the thing
in England, if a case is big enough, it's taken care of by the King's Counsel. Is that kind of like America?
No, you don't understand, Mike. No, what happens is, if you are charged with shit, right, you have to pay for your. That's a senior. Basically, it's a very expensive senior lawyer. Okay. You have to pay for that yourself. Otherwise, you're fucked. You're fucked, Mike. Mike, you're fucked. There's nothing. They don't give you nothing. Okay. You're not give. You give. They do have some legal aid, like in America, but believe you me, if you're fighting charges, you want to have a good lawyer behind you. Otherwise, you will fucking.
Yeah. So they're like the upper echelon, high dollar lawyers, like we have in America. But in America, we have like the Supreme Court. You know, and we have the regular court.
England has the High Court. They have the Supreme Court. We got magistrates, district, Supreme Court.
I honestly don't know enough about it all to really.
No,
it's a weird one, man. Because if I say if I got arrested now and went to a police station, you would be entitled to a free solicitor, what's called a duty solicitor.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
You wouldn't pay for that.
Public defender.
Yes, we call them a waste of space in Australia.
Same here in America.
Well, they come to the police station. It hasn't happened to me before, but I've seen it when I've been in the police station for other reasons.
Yes.
But they come in; these solicitors come in, and they're dressed kind of like in casual clothing. It's not what you expect from from a solicitor, really, or a lawyer.
Look,
or
they're basically there to help you make sure you're aware of your rights and to. Look, I think any legal representation is important if you're being charged with things.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, I honestly, I kind of try and do the right thing in life. You know, I don't actively want to do the wrong things. I don't actively want to do the wrong things.
No, you're a bit of a pacifist, aren't you? You don't go looking for trouble, I wouldn't say.
No, I try and stay out of that, Lewis. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you know, the arts industry, it's a tricky thing. I got a good friend of mine in America who's actually a session musician for Disney. He works on the Disney on Broadway shows, and
that'll be a good gig. That'll be really
yeah.
well
He does
paid
okay. He does okay. It's not as good as you think, but
right.
you know, the thing is, he's in his 70s. And he's worked with Barbara Streisand. He's worked with all the famous singers and that over the decades. But it's easy not to have much money. A lot of musicians don't end up with much because the work is very you know, you get paid good money when you're working, but then you have a lot of downtime, and you've got to be disciplined.
You get paid, like when you're off. Yeah, you do. You really do. It's like I'm just like you, which is one of the reasons why I really liked your channel is in the first place. I remember watching your channel for the first time when I was literally 16 or 17, something like that. It can't have been going that long, but anyway, I used to like you love the material goods, and I've gotten better with it. With buying less of them. But I used to totally see where you're coming from with all that stuff. Like, it's almost like if I've got £500 in my pocket, I'm going to buy something for £500. And when you have to, and when you do this sort of gig, you have to, you can't do that anymore, really.
No. But I must say one thing, in all honesty, Lewis, selling your watches to buy the house, you can't regret that. It's always fantastic to have your own house.
I think it was the right thing.
If you don't mind me ask you, it was about £100,000.
Yeah.
How much do you owe currently on the place?
I put 15,000 down.
Yep.
So it'll be, well, what's that? 85. And then
there's some legals and fees like that too. Don't forget.
I included that actually. So the house was about 96, and then probably around about 2.5. So maybe I think we definitely, because we're both paying for the mortgage, you see. So it'll probably be what 50 something maybe. Yeah. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. But I owe other things, like I haven't started paying it yet, but I owe, student loan. I owe other things like that. But I wouldn't say, Archie, I'm in a terrible financial position. I do have some debt, but it's not like I owe whatever, like 60 grand to some credit card company or whatever. I don't have anything like that, luckily, but I do like a frivolous purchase. I bought a Cartier bracelet.
Yes,
and
nice.
It's nice, man. I would show you it, but it's boxed up. I can show you it if you want, but it's one of those Trinity bracelets where it's like 3.
Oh yes.
So I have that, but it was really expensive, and I think, I don't know if I should have done this or not, and whatever. But buyer's remorse.
It's nice to treat yourself. It's nice to treat yourself every once in a while. I think it's important to do so.
Yeah. Well, Mike, what I saw you were wearing a watch. Which watch are you wearing at the minute? What do you sort of think do you like?
Right now, I'm wearing my Orange Monster Seiko, but my one remaining watch is a Omega Speedmaster.
Nice.
I had a couple of Rolexes, but I sold them to buy my car because I fell in love with this car. It's a 1979 Porsche 930.
Oh, right. Okay. I understand.
The big wing and the big flares and the turbo engine and Widowmaker. And so I got it and I love it. I fixed it up to the point where I can drive it. I got it registered and smogged and running, and it's on the road.
Excellent.
But it's turned like my goal is to be on the racetrack. As I am a race car driver, and this car's a little bit more. It's a little far away from being able to be like reliably run on the racetrack. And Porsche's just mega expensive, and so I'm enjoying it on the street. But I do have it listed for sale right now, and it's just the listing is just going to stay there and live there. And if somebody comes along and buys it, they do. If they don't, then I'm going to enjoy it as a street rod. and until I do sell it, because I searched my soul, and I've determined this is not my forever car, and I'm kind of in search.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in search of my forever car.
So how much is it worth then? What's the price? What you're selling it for? To give me an idea of how.
Mine's been modified. That's the issue. It's been kind of turned into a race car. So it's got a 500 horsepower engine. It's got an aftermarket rear wing. It's the interior's minimalized. It's got a roll cage. It had racing seats, but I put stock seats back in it. It's Spartan inside. Everything's been removed for weight. It's got BBS style race 3-piece racing wheels, which actually kind of hurts its value, because what everybody really wants is like what rolled off the showroom floor. They want they'll look at the paperwork and say, well, this car came with a tan interior, and it's everything I see is black. And it's like, that's what people are wanting for real. Whereas I was wanting something that I could track and drive on the street and look really good in. But it just turned into a little bit more of a project than I want to deal with. But, I own it. It's mine. It's running. It's in my garage. I drive it. I enjoy it. And
it's about 80,000, Lewis, US dollars.
Yeah, so it's a very valuable car.
That's I've got it listed for 85. That's somebody's getting a screaming deal at 85. I mean, this year car unmolested, unchanged, would be in the 120, 140 range, for sure. With the low miles, but since mine was modified, everybody, I've had 3 people come and look at it, and they've tire kicked and just said, this isn't the car for me, basically. So I just gotta wait for the right person to come along. Until then, I'm enjoying the car and driving it, and the thing's awesome, man. I just
how is your family going, Lewis? Last time I spoke to you, I think you've got a brother, don't you? You got a brother?
Sister. Yeah. It was I think one of the last times I spoke to you was not really tragedy, but I stopped the stream halfway because my mother got taken to the hospital, and it was during COVID, and it was because of COVID, and we didn't realize it was in the house. But anyway, everybody recovered from it. Apart from that, there's not really been anything dramatic. I'm an uncle now, very recently. But apart from that, there's nothing to complain about. There's been, to tell you the truth, Archie, my parents are 65. No, 64, and they've been pretty lucky, to tell you the truth. Nothing, no major problems there. But my my girlfriend's dad, he had cancer recently, but he's totally recovered as well. He had like skin cancer, but it was inside of his, which I didn't realize you could get. It was a squamous cell cancer, which is inside of, deeper down into your skin, and he had it in his throat, but it wasn't throat cancer. But he came through that, luckily. So it's just life's ups and downs, that sort of thing, isn't it? Just having that's one of my biggest fears, getting an illness like that. But well, how about you anyway? Apart from the obvious that I already know.
No. It's been look. Besides that, it's been okay. I must say the COVID thing, that was a really There were horrible times, weren't they? The COVID, and realistically, they should have just let it go wild. They should have opened the doors and said, "Okay, back to normal. Off you go." But
that's how it went in the end here.
Yeah,
that's sort of what happened. But I feel terrible for the people who died of it, because did you ever have it or not? Did you ever actually get it?
I got it. Yeah, I did. I did catch, actually, after the burglary. I think I got to tell you something, Lewis. A lot of this has to do with your positive or negative vibe. I went to London. I met hundreds of people. I was so positive and charged up. I got nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I went to, a couple of months later, I went to the UK. Sorry, I went to the US. I came back, had the burglary to deal with. I went into a deep depression, shock and depression. You know, I got COVID within a day later. I had COVID.
Yeah. The stress hormone, Archie. That's what gives you the stress hormone, lowers your immune system massively. I've heard.
Exactly. And I got to tell you honestly,
listen. Do you still have any idea who that was or not?
No idea. I honestly can say to you, if I knew, I would tell the police. You know, I gave them all the leads I could possibly. You know, they asked me who's been here, who's did, and look. I'll be honest with you. It's very sad what happened. The world isn't really friendly at times. The world can be very.
Well, my family was a victim of a robbery as well recently. It was £250,000 as well. It was a lot of money. It was my grandmother's 94, and she was gradually conned out of £250,000 by one of those classic scams where, we'll fix the house up, we'll do this, we'll do that, and £250,000 later, we realised what was going on. She hadn't mentioned it, so the police are sort of investigating that at the minute. But everything takes ages.
Yeah,
as you'll know, Archie, when you had your robbery investigated, everything takes forever. To do.
And what happened in her case? Did she manage to get any money back, or not looking positive?
As of yet, no. But it only came to our realization about a month ago. So it's quite early in the people were arrested. They know who it was.
Okay. Were they real builders in that?
No, all con men, and unfortunately they've done this to about another 20 people across the region. So, my grandma was devastated and embarrassed that she'd been conned, but then these people are so good at it that they've done it to another 20 or 30 people. So they've already been to prison for it before, and they've come out and done it again. So, and
they're English people.
English. There's some rough people up here, Archie. There really is.
She was just trying to get her house fixed.
Yeah, and then it was, can we do this? Can we do that? The money's locked in this account. Can you pay us a bit extra so we can get it out? Then we'll give you it back, and everything out the textbook. So, everything out of the con man textbook. Yeah, which I know when I explain it to you, you would think, well, why would she ever do that? But it was because of her age and because of having some grounds to trust these people because of previous stuff. I think what they do with a lot of these con men is that they carry out some work legitimately at first so that you have some trust in them, and then they start to exploit it. From what I can gather, but hopefully they'll go back to prison. But it's just a matter of waiting, unfortunately. I shouldn't really talk about it, but I know this is such a niche part of the internet that it won't matter.
No, that's really sad. That's really sad that so much. Look! It is what it is. I mean, look! Yeah. I'm sure she feels terrible. I mean, it's not just the loss of the money; it's the mental anguish as well. This is so.
It came out, Archie, because she called me one time for the first time ever and asked to borrow money, and I said, oh yeah, of course, thinking it was for heating, thinking it was for something, because she's not a rich person. This was her entire life savings, including the inheritance from wills, etc. So she said, can I borrow 6,000? And I was completely shocked by that. I was like, 6,000, what for? And she said, I've been told I need to pay a solicitor a £6,000 fee so they can get all of the money back that I've lent to somebody. And I immediately called the police. And she said not to call the police, but then typically as soon as you do and they know you have, they're immediately relieved that it's out in the open.
Yes. Oh my God.
So there you go. That's madness, isn't it? It's absolute madness. So it's just another horrible case of robbery, including your robbery. Which I remember the videos coming up and seeing the way that they trashed the room as well. I was on the side of thinking it was a personal. Not that there's been any evidence of that, but it's how harshly they went about it. It seemed personal. I didn't like that at all.
I got to be honest with you, Lewis. You know, after the son's death, the robbery's nothing. losing
Oh,
the
yeah.
son is you know, it just makes it's just a very sad thing. And I mean, the world has many wonderful things. There's wonderful things in the world,
Yeah,
but there's also disappointing things as well. And
for sure.
I've got to be totally honest with you. At times, you just don't know. You don't know what to expect out of anything. It's just I don't know, Lewis. It's kind of, there's an innocence you have, you know, as a young person who's starting off life. They try things and I want to become this. I want to do this, and it's very sad when you see that there are some very nasty people in the world who really just want to take advantage of your kindness.
Yes, yeah, and from what you were saying before, Archie, unfortunately is the drug thing is just so common now. I know barely anybody I work with. Me and a few other people I think are the only people I know who don't do cocaine in the business. It's so
well,
common.
I mean, cocaine is such a expensive drug. I mean, if you are using that stuff there, you know, I tell you honestly, what the big thing with drugs for me has been that I've always been scared. I can't say no.
Right.
You know, like you take a bit, it feels so good. That's always scared me. Fuck. Nobody wants to be a heroin addict, but they become an addict because they cannot say no, even though it's diabolical.
Yeah.
Geez, I just can't believe he lost 250,000 pounds. About you reckon? Oh my God.
250. So hopefully we'll get something.
Do they've is there any chance of getting anything back? Have they frozen bank accounts or anything like that, or it's all gone?
It's at the minute we're not sure where it is, but there's a chance we can get some of the money back from her bank, because they, according to some legal people we've spoken to, they should have realized that it was fraudulent because of the method in which it was taken. So we're hoping that she'll be covered by her own bank, which is a huge bank in England, Lloyd's. So hopefully it will be covered under some sort of whatever. But we're honestly not sure what this guy's done with the money. It's no obvious. It's not like he's driving around in a Bugatti or a whatever. So he's not used it materially, as far as we can tell. But we're worried that he's used it for drugs as well. We don't know, but it's just possible. So it's just it is a nasty world, isn't it? Sometimes it really is. But as you say, I'm not negative. I'm not a negative person. I don't think you are either. But sometimes you think, what the hell? How can this happen? How can this happen?
Yes.
Yes. And you know,
you are 100% right there. Sometimes you look at this stuff and you think, what the fucking hell is going on here? And how could it happen? But unfortunately, this is the reality of life, isn't it? Really.
It is, man. Is there no other super chats come in yet?
Unfortunately, no. It's dry. You know, Lewis, this is the entertainment business. This is like busking. I'm like a professional busker. Okay. And
I thought this would happen, Archie, after COVID. I thought COVID would finish it lasted quite a long time. It was good. But I wondered whether the COVID would make the streaming harder.
Yeah, look, I had some really good times. I must confess, I had some very, very good times.
Yeah.
But you know, the problem is that at the moment, look, we've got an election in America, right? That throws a lot of uncertainty. You see what I mean? That gives us uncertainty.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of these things. There's uncertainty there. That throws a spanner in the works. But hey, you know what, Lewis? The thing is this: in the entertainment business, let me give you some advice there, as one performer to another. Just keep some for a rainy day. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah. Don't use it all.
Sometimes, you know, I tell you, you know, I don't know if you watch The Bill. Do you ever watch The Bill, that TV show?
The police one, The Bill.
Yes.
Yeah, so I used to. Yeah, used to.
Yeah, because the funny thing is, a lot of those characters that were in the bill, a couple of them tried to commit suicide when the show
Right.
ended or their part ended. Like they were so like you've got to realize when you're in an entertainment business, it may not last forever. Do you understand? It may not be there forever.
Absolutely. You have to be aware of your own.
It'd be good if it did last forever, but unfortunately, it can finish pretty quickly.
One of the best creations on YouTube is ArchieLuxury the movie.
Yes.
Yes. I watch that all the time. It's like if other people are honest in this video, so I can see there's 114 people watching. I bet you there is somebody who will agree with me that watching that movie is like a sense of like I see it up there with any of my favorite films. Like I'll put it on just to feel a bit better.
Oh my god! Yes.
ArchieLuxury the movie, Sutton Deville, and who's the other one? What was the guy called who used to be the do you remember you were outside on a balcony and there was like a lift, like a button that wasn't covered over properly, and he was the health and safety guy.
Ah, yes. I know what you're saying. Yeah. No. You're 100% right. You know, I mean, the world is it's. Look, I would say if you're in the funny thing is in the bill there, a lot of the cast, some of the cast, Reg, you remember Reg?
In England.
Yeah, the actor who played Reg.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
I'll show you.
Archie, in the chat, they're saying that Magpie is banned. I don't know if that's if he's not supposed to be banned, but apparently
I will check that. This is Reg. Remember Reg? This is Reg.
Yeah. I remember that guy.
He tried to commit suicide.
Oh man.
Because they wrote him out of the script. You see what I'm like some people, they do this. It's like Coronation Street, and
it's like a huge ongoing script. Yeah, that must be hard, that though, when you feel like you've been sort of like shunned out of the club, like no longer welcome, sort of thing. It's what the hell? That looks like you.
Tosh Lyons committed suicide.
Oh man. Died while receiving treatment
for alcoholism. That's Tosh Lyons. I liked him on the bill.
It was a great show. It really was. Great theme tune as well.
Yeah. It's. I'll just tell you, the Sergeant Munro. He ended up. He died. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Andrew Munro, right? There's this guy here.
2002, yeah.
He actually he died. Inspector Andrew Munro. He was that was a good
a good show. I think it's ended now. I don't think it exists anymore.
Yeah, he actually, his real name was Colin Tarrant, right. And he died in Derbyshire.
Yes, down south. And
it's sad. He died at Bristol from a self-inflicted wounds at his home. Suicide because he couldn't handle the lack of work. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, so what I'm trying to tell you is, right, these are actors who they had a good gig for a long time, right? Then life, a few bad things happen, and all of a sudden they can't handle it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
and
I do.
it's so sad. I mean, you've got to be able to say, hey, if your time is up, your time, I mean, your career, if nobody wants to listen to your music, say, okay, I tried my best. It was really good, but hey, it's not working anymore. You know, that's
yeah, you have to be able to you have to be able to step away, even if it's for a lot of good artists. What they'll do is they'll release something, do really well, and then they'll go away for quite a long time. You can't be burning it all the time. And
exactly. I mean, there's very few artists who can just keep it going, and I think it's kind of a tragedy. Like what happens is you've got to realize, if you're an actor. We got a super chat here. Yankee Doodle, $5. If that crackling broad wins the election, I will not be a happy camper. Lewis, what is the average salary in the UK? So I thought the average salary is about £30,000.
Sounds about right. I'm going to look up to be accurate. The general feeling in England at the minute is, it's about 34,000. No, 30,316 is the median annual salary. But in general, Archie, there's a feeling in the UK at the minute that everything is too expensive to afford. I think it's quite tough at the moment here for a lot of people. I'll put it this way: a lot of people can't afford general sort of things that you have in a household. But on the other hand, I got offered £1,000 to play piano for an hour today by somebody. So the sort of divide between rich people and poor people, or people in the middle, is massive in England at the moment. The rich people are ridiculously wealthy, and then everybody else is just a little bit not that well off. That's the only way I can describe it. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in a lot of countries. I don't know what Australia is like for comparison, but it's not the best. I think it hasn't helped with that we left the EU as well. Personally, I wish we'd stayed in the EU, because it meant the price of everything went up, basically, because now to import it costs.
Difficult thing. That was a difficult campaign, because I was keen for them to leave, but it's been very tough since then, like the taxes and trade between England and the rest of Europe. It's it's become a mess. Okay, can I say that? It has become a fucking mess.
It's a punishment, Archie. It's a punishment for leaving. Whenever you go to an airport now, if you're from England, you can't go in the EU queue anymore, and it's almost like when you walk through and you have your passport in your hand. And
you had some great. You could go and live in Europe. You could go and do many things. We got a new member, Watch Fan 95. Thank you for becoming a member, Watch Fan.
Yeah, exactly. We used to have so many benefits. I actually thought just before the opportunity ended, I actually thought about moving somewhere in Europe before before it was officially not allowed anymore.
That's exactly right. Europe has got many great places. A lot of English people go to Spain. Italy is also amazing. I think Italy has some amazing places there. It's funny. Italy has some really amazing houses that are so cheap to buy in the countryside. I don't know what's going. Like, they have £1 houses and stuff like that. But
it's just people can't. Well, it's like an investment.
The problem is there's no jobs there. What are you going to do? Okay, you've got a house. It's run down. You need to put a lot of money in.
A few years ago, actually, I was in what we call here a function band, so a band that plays for sort of corporate gigs, corporate events. We played. We went to Italy. We flew to Italy and played a gig for this guy called George. It was for his daughter's wedding, and we could tell they were from massive money, because they owned the chateau in Italy that they were getting married at, but they were Americans, so they also had a house in America and whatever. And you when you get a feeling that somebody's from money. Yes. And as the night went on, we slowly worked out from what he was saying that he was very, very high up in Microsoft.
I see.
and somebody at the wedding had a monumental share in American Airlines as well. So we discovered that these people were actually like multi-millionaires whose wedding we were at, and that was in an amazing place near Rome.
Was there a nerdy guy with glasses called Bill?
Oh no, it wasn't him, but there was a lot of people like him.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I found about that, which shows how deeply I'm into this, is that most of them were wearing Apple watches, and it was a letdown. I thought,
yeah,
God,
no, you're right. You're right.
You could have anything. You could have anything. But this guy George, who it was for, he was wearing an Apple Watch during the day when we were there, but then at night when he changed into a suit, he was wearing a solid gold something or other, and I couldn't work out what it was. I think it was probably like a little sort of like old AP dress watch. It was nice, but remember that TGV guy?
Yes.
He had one, and it put me off him. Because he's got this thing about his family being from like the aristocracy and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about all that. Like, I don't know. If they are, why is he living in a flat in Philadelphia? Surely he should be here on a manor or on an estate. I don't know. Look, fair play to him. Some of these videos are good. I like them. But I remember you had your day with him, and
yeah, look, everyone scratches out a living there, you know. But what I wanted to say to you is that I think you sometimes need to know when to get out of the business. If it's not working, pay your house off, have a comfortable life there, try your best. It's I'm very sorry to hear about the situation with your gran there. That's just,
it's nasty, Archie, but it's nothing in comparison to what you've been through. It's just one of these horrible things in life, isn't it? It's just just ridiculous. There's no words for it, really.
I think since you came on the show, I've lost an innocence that never comes back. Does that make sense? I've lost
totally.
I still, there's still many beautiful things in the world. There's still nice people, you know, but it's kind of you lose an innocence that you never get back. And unfortunately,
does it feel like on the verge of anger, like you're almost angry at just angry at the world sort of things? That's how I think I would feel.
Look. I don't think angry is the right word, because I'll be honest with you. He made a lot of stupid choices. You know, he made some really dumb. He got involved in something. I didn't really realize how bad he was involved in it until after he died, because these people, they never tell you what's going on really. Yeah. But in all honesty, he was his own worst enemy. And look, I don't think, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. He was in trouble with the law at times because he was in this scene. And that's what happens. They're trying to tell you, don't do this shit. Don't do this shit. It will kill you. Please be careful. I mean, it's not just a warning. Fuck off. No, it's a serious sort of situation. Like, so basically what happened is he took GHB, party drug. It's on the scene, right? You know? Yeah. He had some alcohol with it, and then he seems, from the report, he basically died on his own, choked on his vomit. He was unconscious, couldn't breathe, vomited, and you know, it probably wasn't enough of the drug to kill him. The drug didn't kill him, but it's because the drug, when he was unconscious, that made him unconscious. He couldn't breathe. He vomited, and his airway was blocked. He dies. You know, that's simple. Very, very tragic situation, and that's how a lot of people who are in that sort of situation die. It's really it's so disappointing.
That even happened to famous people. A lot of famous people combination like that, and even Jimi Hendrix and stuff. It's just tragic, isn't it? That the body can't do anything.
No, exactly. But you know, the thing is, at the end of the day, they got to take responsibility. And as you said yourself, you know, you're in the music scene. Don't touch the cocaine. Don't touch the cocaine. Cocaine is fucking dangerous. It is. You know, this stuff. I mean, it's okay to have a drink. You know, within reason, you can do certain things, but you've got to be aware. Hey, I think the thing is in the music area, the thing that's so sad is that so many people, they think the good times will last forever, and it doesn't last forever. It's a limit.
Yeah.
So my advice is put money away, put some away. You can have a good time too, but put some away. And it's a bit of balance. It's within reason. You know what? I mean, there are people in the music area who spend every cent. They buy a flashy motor. They do this. They do that. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. But if you can live a more simpler life, maybe that is happiness. You've got a girlfriend, a lady you're with there.
Yeah.
You've got a house. You're doing some repairs yourself. Maybe that is happiness. What is happiness anyhow? What is?
It's harder to get it through, because I'm like you, as I was saying before. I do like the material possessions, so sometimes I do like that. But it's as I've done it, I've bought nearly everything you can buy. It feels like, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
You've often made videos about this. It doesn't actually make you happy. It helps a bit, but it doesn't make you happy, does it? The material possessions, and then when you have them, you think, I'm too scared to wear this thing.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mad. So I would love to be one of those people who has one watch and then that's it.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I seriously think myself, I'm actually looking at. I would like to tailor my collection down to about 3 watches. I'm starting to think, you know what? Maybe the happiness is not in a huge number of things.
Yeah,
it's good to have enjoyed them, but unfortunately the market's contracted a bit. Okay, the market is it's a bit tough. Look, it's kind of cyclical. I mean, it's a number of factors. Cost of living has been pretty vicious in Australia. It's really, we've got there's a difficult thing. We've got a rental vacancy rate that's less than 2% in many cities. 2%. So what that means is young kids now, they don't move out of home and move into a flat. There is no flat for them. They stay with their parents. So it's actually, the vacancy rate is terrible, because young people, when they were in their 20s, they'd move out. They'd move out. Now, like, you can see it in the kids. They're too scared to have a go at the parents, because fuck, I gotta live here. I gotta have a place to stay. And it's really quite savage. And
it is. There was a guy I watched, an Australian guy, and he was talking about this, the 2% thing, and that is mind blowing. It really is. Yeah,
it's I mean, you can't, I think housing, is it a human right? Is it a luxury? Is housing a luxury, or is it? What I think is sad, like England used to have the council house. Okay, I get it. They used to have all these. Maybe they can't, but why don't they build anything anymore? You know what I mean? Because what happened was, a lot of these council estates, they became slums. That's what
awful,
happened.
Yeah, they were terrible.
So what they say now is, we have a bit of social housing, a bit of this, a bit of that. But what's happened is, there are people living in cars in Australia. Do you understand? There are people who are I mean, it's
horrendous.
You talk about mental health problems. Could you imagine you don't have anywhere to stay? Your mental health would go through the floor.
It would, yeah.
If you you just can't contemplate not being home. Like, it becomes an issue where you can't shower easily. You can't take care of yourself. You're cold or damp. You can't, it's really quite.
It's rough. It's really rough.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get out as well. Once you're in it, it takes a long time to get out, I think.
We got a super chat. Nick M, $2. Two-tone bluesy is all a man needs.
That is true. It's hard to beat that watch. Do you remember Blue Shirt? That poor guy.
Fuck, Blue Shirt. This is the thing. He was one of the best guys out there.
He was tremendous. He had that watch, didn't he? He had two.
Yes,
tone.
he had the model after. I've got the previous version.
Yeah,
I'll show you a picture someone sent me, which I've stared at this picture so many times, and I own each of these watches that is in this picture. I'm going to bring up this picture. And I say to myself, fuck me dead. Look at that. A Bluesy, an Explorer 2, and a Speedy. Look at that 3-piece set.
You can't really go wrong there.
Why do you need any more than that? You know, why do you need more? Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough to have?
It is. It really is. Chronograph, 2 sports watches, a luxury sports
chronograph,
watch,
a diver, and the
diver.
GMT. Look at the main 3 functions you'd have there.
Yeah.
And
what would you choose between? Go on, sorry.
Sorry, if you had to pick one, I think any one of those would be fine.
What? Let's say I had to say you had to choose between one of those Rolexes. Which one?
I'd probably say the Bluesy is approximately double the white one, okay? Because it's got the gold in it. It's just, I'd say if you were selling one, whichever one went first, you know what I mean? Because it would plug some holes.
Yeah.
And,
the Explorer is nice. You don't see in England that many white dial Explorers, because I look at everybody's wrist. You see a lot more black dial.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great watch for you, that Explorer there. You know what I mean? It's something beautiful.
Prince Harry wore one.
Sorry?
You know, Prince Harry,
yes.
He used to wear one.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think for you, you know what? A nice watch. It'd be a nice thing to get for yourself, you know? But
I do want one again, yeah. I do want one
but
again.
Sometimes, let me tell you this, sometimes it's the goal of getting it. It's the wanting. Don't, as life's gone on. Let me tell you something, Lewis. I remember a friend of mine took me overseas after the robbery. He said, Arch, I'll take you business class to Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Because I was a bit depressed. And I remember I was in the first class lounge of Singapore Airlines in Sydney Airport. I was so depressed. I mean, I'm in the first class lounge. You can have any food you want, any alcohol you want. You can have absolutely anything. No, and I remember just feeling so down. And you know what? I got to say to you, you have to make your own happiness. And I'll be honest with you, my YouTube business, right? I made some phenomenal money. I made more money than, let me tell you this, Lewis. I made more money than I ever thought I would make in this business, right? I was going to say shitty business, right? And I'm very grateful for that. You know what I'm grateful for is the experience of having that money. Like, it's one thing to earn big money. It's one thing to mention the numbers, but it's one thing to have so much. To have experienced it yourself is an incredible thing. And I bought a lot of stuff. And unfortunately for me, my rationale was I'll buy some expensive stuff that can be my retirement. I can always sell it off later and investment. Yeah. And then it was stolen, right? I got to tell you, there's nothing worse than losing something you've got.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I've come losing the sun later makes the robbery look like a mosquito bite.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You know, and I say that honestly. When you to lose a child is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I kind of now I look at my life, right? I'll be honest with you, Lewis. I had some depression when I was in my late 20s.
Right.
Okay. And the reason is that I had my own business. I had a computer business. I used to sell computers and stuff.
Yeah.
And that business became really competitive. And it was shit. Okay, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was a good business that then within 2 years, I was making fucking minimum wage. Okay, I had really good income, and then it was so fucking. I had a good income. I remember made £80,000. This is like fucking 20, 30 fucking years ago. 28 years ago. It was a huge money. But the thing is, you earn huge money, you end up paying huge tax, so they get a big chunk. You know, it's not as amazing as you think it is, you know. And then the business went shitty. I was really anxious. So when I was about 28, 29, that's when my son passed. I was anxious and worried. I remember being that age, and you know what? If I could go back in time, I would have said, "Hey, Paul, that's okay. You tried your best. That business is not working now. Just be cool. No need to feel so anxious and feel like your life is just be cool." I was too caught up in doing low status job. One of the best things I did, Lewis, was I drove taxis for a while.
I remember about this. Yeah,
And,
I remember you saying.
And it's a shit job. Don't get me wrong. It's it's tough. But what it taught me was, you know what? I can still make a living. If worse comes to worse, I can still earn enough money to buy some food.
Yeah.
It was a very tough business because you wake up. The thing about taxi driving, you don't realize. This was before Uber. It's even worse now, Lewis.
Yeah,
Lewis,
the money's
those
worse.
are the glory days. I did it. That's the glory days. This was pre-Uber. Now Uber's killed it.
Yeah.
And
on the floor,
wake up at fucking 3 a.m. to be in a taxi at 4 a.m. and nobody wanted your taxi. Nobody was calling. You think, fuck, what am I doing? And you had the biggest luxury I had when I was doing taxis was sleep. You come back and sleep. Oh, I can. It's kind of like it's hard to. I was depressed, and that also makes you tired. And doing taxis, I just used to. I did it 6 days a week, right?
Jesus.
And this is the funny thing. Let me tell you the funny thing about it. So I was working. You normally wake up. I did night shifts, so you'd start at 4 in the afternoon. You'd work until about 3 in the morning, come back, try and get sleep. And it was hard. Like you get a couple hours. Then the day in Australia was getting warmer. And where I was staying, the house I was in, my dad used to come in and go and use the toilet. You'd hear, fucking, please let me sleep. I just been driving. And he let me stay for free. So I couldn't even have the right to complain.
Yeah.
And then you try and get some sleep. I remember one time, right? Listen to this. The phone rang and I nearly shit myself. The phone rang and I looked at the time. It was 9 o'clock.
PM.
Right?
AM.
I thought it was AM, but it was actually PM.
Shit.
I go, oh, fuck, I've slept. But no, it's just, I've only been asleep. And I got to be honest with you, that waking up and doing that night shift sort of work there for low money was, I remember the worst day in taxis was like $70 for the day.
Horrendous.
It's £35 after a 12-hour shift. 12 hours for 35 fucking pounds. And I remember thinking, fuck.
It's a wage cut. The big thing here is that the minute people do the Uber Eats, and remember when you were doing the Uber Eats adverts? I love them.
Yes, Uber Eats.
That's a big thing here now, but no offense, but it's mostly people who can't speak English who are doing it. People who've just moved here.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. Uber Eats is and Uber Eats is not good for the restaurant business because they lose 30. The fees are high. It's not the driver that makes the money. Uber seems to take a big chunk of it. And I got to tell you seriously, sometimes in life you just look at things and just a simple life can be happiness. You know, happiness But you know, my son wants to be a teacher. He wants to be a teacher. He wants to be a mathematics teacher.
That's a good one, Archie. That's a good one to do.
Music's still a good teacher. You didn't enjoy it, or the kids were difficult?
Oh,
or
no. It's honestly, I did, and the kids weren't bad at all. Like in England, there might be other English people who don't agree, but certainly where I was teaching, it was like teachers are like a respected profession, and the kids would be, if you did it right and you were strict enough and reinforced what you were supposed to, the kids were quite yes sir, no sir, do what they're told sort of thing. It was more how much we were getting paid for the amount of work we were expected to do.
I see.
So the other problem we have in England with teaching at the minute is there's so many qualified, professional, experienced teachers leaving because of the situation, that we have a lot of what are called like agency teachers who are not even qualified, and English isn't their first language often and stuff like that. So it's just really bad a lot of the time. It's really terrible, you know. It's like the NHS, actually. That's the same thing. Like a lot of the experienced staff leave, so they have to get somebody, and they're often pretty terrible. So it's dodgy. It's getting dodgy, Archie. It's getting dodgy. And if they don't put some more money into it, like they're supposed to, being a Labour system, it might eventually collapse. Probably not, but you also now, maths is a much safer teaching option, because maths is always a core subject in every country, isn't it? So it gets the most funding, it gets a lot of bursary.
Yes.
So it's very well respected in teaching.
Look, it's kind of, I never was great at maths myself. I kind of like more the you know, like the arts, like the history and things like economics and things like that. But look, I think all these things are important. It's kind of sad that I think music, see, the problem just between you and me, and I don't want to annoy the chat, but they put so much money into sport. Who the fuck gives a fuck about the soccer?
Oh, no. I agree
Why
with
don't
that.
they put some money into the sport, in not the sports, into the music? You know, the funding. They get crazy. Man U or this or that. I mean, one thing I could not believe is they got talk shows in the UK, and I don't mind the soccer.
Yeah.
They talk about the most, why did so-and-so do this? I don't know why he was thinking. Like, they talk all day about why he kicked a goal or didn't. You think, this is fucking soccer. I mean, you guys
it's the dullest shit you've ever seen.
They are so into the soccer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a huge culture over here, and it's attached to like people who, like, again, no offense, but it's like almost attached to a bit to thuggery as well. It's like a bit of like when you go out on the weekend to watch football, it's full of like blokes shouting and like being ridiculous.
That's exactly right. And I mean, look, it's okay to love your team, but I don't understand these teams. Like Man U, you got European players there. You guys sell players. They're not even. They're not even. A lot of them. I'm not trying to say anything rude. They're not even English. Like you buy French players. You buy players, and then
it's bloody. No, you're right. You're exactly right. And then the worst bit of it all, Archie, is all of that is what it is. But then you get like one of the common sort of like tropes in England is you get like middle-aged sort of like fat, bald, white blokes going like, I'm sick of the immigrants in this country, blah, blah, blah. But then they're huge football fans. So basically everyone on the football teams isn't English, but they love all that. But then they hate anybody. You know, let's say a Polish guy comes here and starts being a builder. He'll hate that, but he loves it when a French football player comes here. So it's just bullshit, really.
It's double standards. It's double standards.
It's all too common here.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of sad, you know, like I kind of think that is a sad thing. That is sad. But you know, I gotta tell you, I think in the arts itself, you've got to appreciate, like, I've kind of looked at things and said, you know what? The other thing is too, let me tell you this, Lewis, like, you're at the peak of you're in your 30s, right? That's a good age.
Yeah.
I'm 52 now.
Yeah.
And the reality is, see, I worked in IT for a long time. See, that's a young man's game. They want young and peppy people who've just come out of college or come out of university. They want young and cheap who are keen and enthusiastic. I'm old, middle-aged, and whingy. They don't want whingy, middle-aged. You know what I'm saying? So in your own case, you know what? I would try and develop different income streams. Like maybe you could do some music teaching. You just try and get some different income channels. You know what I mean? Not just have, hey, I'm going to do the band. I'm going to do this. Look at some different. One thing I would say to you, Lewis, is I really think you should do this. Is put together a YouTube channel and put your music. Get it filmed. Film your stuff.
I could show you that. I've done that a bit actually.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What's the name of your channel, Lewis?
It's let me just check, Archie. I want to double check it's definitely the right thing. So it's so it's called it is just my name, Lewis Curry. I'll put it in. Can you see the chat we have? I might send you a link. Let's see.
I'm just going to search for it now. Let me just
see if you can find it. Yeah, it's not a big channel. It's a very small channel.
No, let's have a look here. This is Lewis Curry. I've just found it. Let's get a look. Let's go and have a look here. Let's get this up on the screen. I would definitely tell you, is this it here? Let's have a look. This is it here?
Yep, that's me. That's me. It's a very small channel. It's not.
No, that's okay. We're going to subscribe firstly.
Oh.
Subscribe to all.
Thanks, Archie.
And you've got some great. Look at this. See, what you need to do is I tell you. Let's just have a look here.
This is an old video.
It's not a bad video to have. If I were you, I would be filming every. How many gigs a week do you do? A month? How many gigs do you do?
A month, probably between 30 and 40 a month.
Why don't you film once a week? Get one video up.
Yeah,
once a week.
That's a good idea. That really is a good idea.
Seriously,
that is a great idea.
You know what I mean?
That is a great idea. It's a really good idea. Let's have a look here. Like, 'cause the last time I uploaded something was a while ago, probably. Have you seen these YouTube short things? Have you ever done those where it's like a really short clip?
Yes, yeah. You can do them up to 3 minutes now. That's also good. But Lewis, I got to tell you, I would also get a website, lewiscurry.com, if you can.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a story. I put a joke one together, right?
Right.
And I said I'm available to fly anywhere, $1,000 plus a ticket. I had a billionaire who his wife paid it.
Oh,
and
shit, I do remember.
No, I only had one gig. Like that. But that was worth its weight in gold. You know what I mean?
What
I'm trying to tell you is, right? Put together a website and just say, hey, you're available, $10,000, fly anywhere. Just put some high prices. It doesn't matter. You might get someone who, like that Microsoft gig.
Yeah.
You might get someone who says, hey, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is I can't believe. See, look, people will laugh, but these genuinely are very good suggestions. I hadn't thought of making a website. It just seems obvious, doesn't it? But
well, it takes a bit of effort, and I got to tell you, I would definitely do it. I would definitely do it.
Yeah. And I think you're right. There's people asking here because I've got the comments in the background. Obviously, the comments are designed for us to get slated in, but somebody's asking if I'm going to start my own live stream. The answer is no. This is the only one I would do. This is the only one I have done. There's a few things on.
Yeah, I definitely look. You got to start. I would film. Just upload every gig. Try and film something. Get something up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And you know what? It doesn't. It's not about it being super successful or getting YouTube earnings. You want to get your library out there.
Yeah.
And you never know what can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I remember you. Well, yeah. Oh, definitely, Archie. That is, you have to put stuff out there, don't you? But do you still get anything off Google or not, or does it not work anymore?
No. I get some. Look, what's happened is the money is in the live streaming. This is the thing I do here, right? But I'll be honest with you, Lewis. I may be coming to the end of this career, right? Like I did IT for a while. Like, I think you find in life nothing ever lasts forever. Like, this is the funny thing, right? And I kind of have said to myself, you know what? I'm going to try keep this going for as long as I can.
Yeah, Archie, it would be a massive loss if it went. I would be devastated if it went. And there's loads of people that comment, and it's like, you know, look, it's happened before to me. It happens to you all the time. In the comments, obviously, we do get shit thrown at us, which is fair enough. But I think everybody would be devastated if this channel was gone. So
no, you're right there. It is very true, and I got to be honest with you. You can only try your best. You can only try your best, and
you need a retirement, don't you? So
yeah, but you know the thing is, you're doing what you love. It's very, to be a musician is not easy. I'd also be putting stuff on your Facebook as well. Facebook's very popular.
Yeah,
you know, I would just get it out there, Lewis, because you know what, it's just getting it out there enough, and you never know what gigs and opportunity. I mean, the reality is Ed Sheeran, right? He's a good musician, but he's not that much more brilliant than you. He's just had better opportunities.
Yeah. He's not. He can't play anything technically better than me. He's not like a virtuoso musician or anything. Yeah.
And look, he's very good. He's a good performer, but what you got to realize is there's a bit of luck, there's a bit of work, hard work, and there's a mix. You know, it's not just one size fits all. If you're there's many brilliant musicians who nobody's ever heard of. There's many. You know, that's how it is. But the thing is, I definitely, you know, you've done the school. You can always go back to school teaching if necessary.
Yeah, that's true.
And
it's in demand. It's in demand.
Yeah, you could also do private lessons. There's many things you can do. You know, you just gotta go. You know, if you're doing well at the moment, you go with the flow, and it's
where I'm at, Archie, is where you were at. You know how you describe like the golden years of like where it was all just working and the money was coming, and oh, this is great. I can do everything from this. I'm there at the moment, but I do know in the future, obviously, that'll back off. Music's a young man's game to an extent as well.
Yes, it is. It is. It is a young man's, and that's a positive. If you're a young man, that's very good. But let's be honest, once you start to get into your late 30s, early 40s, it's not, you know, it's time to say, well, you know, is it, you know, you've got to be realistic, and that's the thing. It is a brutal industry, and
that's when you go into teaching. I think that's when you know you've got to, you sort of take a side step and do, and and to be honest with you, you're right. I'm thinking about doing a few income streams, as you say, but when you get to your late 30s and 40s in music, that's when you often see blokes, especially here. That's when they do the teaching.
Yes.
That's usually the case. So you're exactly right in this, for how it is here. I actually work with a guy. I play guitar and piano and bass for a guy who's from Australia. He's called Tim Gambles. He's really good. He's not famous, but he's
yes.
He's from Australia, and he talks quite highly of music in Australia in terms of what it's like as a musician. He said it's not, the money's okay and there's a lot of it and whatever. But I do find quite a lot of similarities between our countries sometimes, between Australia and
Australia
the UK.
can be a bit brutal because it's mainly the capital cities like Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne are the big capital cities, and the distances are so far. Like that's the big bummer. Like it's thousands of kilometers, thousands of miles away, and that's expensive, and the population, we don't have the critical population like you do in the UK. The UK is a very it's
all tightly together. So
exactly.
how long, out of interest, how long would it take to fly from, like, you're in Melbourne, aren't you?
No, I'm in Brisbane.
You're in Brisbane.
Brisbane to Sydney's an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
And Brisbane to Melbourne is like two and a bit hours.
Right.
And believe it or not, I'm in the state of Queensland. So Queensland, we've got states. We've got basically states and territories. So Sydney is New South. It's a different state.
Right.
But for me to go Brisbane to Cairns is actually further than Brisbane to Melbourne, which is a different state. But in my own state, it's huge. You can go up to the top where they got the crocodiles.
Right.
And it's an incredibly. In Australia, we live on the fringe. You don't normally live in the middle of Australia. You live on the coastal fringes. That's where people mainly live, because it's
sort of empty in the middle, isn't it? Yeah. Heard that.
Well, it's got its own thing. Like, it's actually quite amazing. Like, Australia it's so different to England. Like, England is different to me. Like, I can't believe how green England is. England is green, and we never have squirrels. I've never seen these things. I went to Hyde Park. I thought, squirrels, look at these little things. But
do they come right up to you? Because they usually do in London, because they like to eat things from people.
It's amazing. You got these
it's great.
animals. They're cute little animals there. But the whole thing is, look, I think the whole thing is, you've just got to just keep your level head, stay off the drugs. Anyone who does drugs, that's like doing a marathon with a brick in your hand. It's just going to pull you down.
I've never done them, Archie. I've never done them.
No.
I've never.
No.
Have you ever had
That's
them?
sad. Sorry?
Have you ever taken drugs?
No, I never.
No, I
Look, I alcohol and cigar, and smoking cigarettes, but I've never even done weed, which weed is now, it's legal in a lot of parts of the world. I just thought, I don't want to do it. I'm too old now to try, and I just like to keep. I don't want to lose my judgment. I think myself, my mind, and my brain is it's hard enough for me at times. Like, I get depressed and sad. Could you imagine if you were putting substances through there? What would you be thinking? It gives you bad thoughts.
Yeah, it becomes a disaster.
It does.
There was a video. Go on. Sorry.
No, keep going. There was a video.
There was a video a long time ago, going back to cigars, where you and a few other guys were in your, I only know this through videos, obviously, but your little sort of garden area next to where your studio is. You were having a cigar, and I think you took a few dodgy hits, and you went and made a video, and you were like, "I'm gonna have to go now to vomit." You look like you went grey. You looked as white as a sheet.
No, look. The cigars, you got to make sure you don't inhale them. You will be sick there. But it's cigars are so expensive in my country. Like, I honestly don't. You're talking 10, 20 pounds a cigar. I mean,
really?
The taxes are so high on this stuff, and it's not good for you anyhow. Smoking's not really good for you, and you want to try and you want to try and live longer than shorter. You want to look after yourself. That's the thing.
I'd be yeah, well, exactly. I'd be happy to live. I'd be happy to live for as long as possible. I would love to live over 100 actually, if I could.
Yes, yes. And if you keep pumping good food and live well, we got Patel Philippe. Lewis, Archie's favorite squirrel was the one running around the streets of New York City. I think those
Is that
are
a true
rats.
story?
Those are not rats.
Those are rats. We get them here as well, mind.
Yes, yes.
Pigeons.
No, London. It's a tricky situation there, but I got to tell you, what time is it in the UK? It's getting late for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nearly 1:15. I'll have to go in a minute, but I've loved it so much. I'd love to come on again.
You are welcome anytime, please. And I please, guys, check out his channel, Lewis Curry. Check it out, and I want you to upload more stuff. Keep it going, man. Keep it going.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's I got my friend
and this look.
Doc joining us. Hello, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. I don't want to interrupt, but I also I know I need to come on if you guys are finishing up the show.
Yes, we need super
Doc.
chats. That's what we need. We need some
super chats.
$1 for each person in the.
Even if we can't get super chats, we can get thumbs up. We can get people hitting.
I'll do it too.
Thumbs up, saying they approve the show, that they had a great time with this discussion. It didn't have as much watch talk as normal, but it was still a good show.
Sorry about
that. No. It was a good show and a good topic.
Doc, what's happening in the election there in America? Who's going to win, Doc?
It's funny that you mentioned that. You know, your good friend Curly, after your show tomorrow, he's doing an election show. I'm going to be there. Tommy's going to be there. And Ron the Shrink's going to be there. So people who are interested, that's what's going to happen tomorrow. All bets are off, but you know, it's not about who votes. It's about who counts the votes.
Yes.
So all bets are off. We're going to have to just see what happens.
Yes.
I will say that Trump overwhelmed Hillary in 2016, even though Hillary had the deep state behind her and those two people that people don't think about too much before now, you know, Page and what's the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. He had a weird name. But anyway, the two FBI agents that were also lovers cheating on their spouses and all that stuff. And they did what they could do to stop Trump from winning, and he won anyway. So it does offer some hope that maybe the votes will be counted nonetheless.
We got a super chat here from Patel Philippe, $2. AC3. Danny sent you a vid to your WhatsApp from me. Okay, let's have a look at this.
Oh, another video.
Another video. Let's take.
In some ways, isn't this almost as good as Danny coming on the show every day? He sends a video every day.
Yes, let's have a.
G'day, Archie. Start the show.
Archie and Crips is a filthy shitbox. Living in a house held together by dry rock. Not worth the jack. Fit for a house, just a few $100,000 thereabouts. Your house is land value worth nothing as the bank chases you. Me tearing half the value, you ain't worth any more than the rest. You got stud money out very fast. Your life is shit. The new panel sucks. Everything about you, your marriage is far. Oh, Archie, you're not needing anymore. You can still be in bed when you're 94. But that doesn't matter anymore. It's all you're chasing is more busy home. Oh, Archie, you live in house so tried rock. Less value than your 3-inch cock. You gotta knock down that out that your dog, cause all you're doing is chasing off smelly twat. Oh, Archie, the house is so you. Right next to the greasy KFC drive-thru. It comes with the dodgy marshmallow safe. Your punters have a far better place. Archie can scream until you're blue. Put your fever in business, I won't fuck too. At the front door, sits a 4-lane black talker. Govern even looks a fucking council bus stop. Oh, Archie, you're not needed anymore. But still be in debt when you're not anymore. But that doesn't matter anymore. There's no your chases more sleazy whores. The house smells like a dirty old fag. Eating out like a termite from a ghetto slag. Those homies hear you scream and shout. Since the boys got that grind of the rip your fucking watches out. Oh, Archie, we're broken up in true. Visit every dinner you're pressed up like stew. Oh, Archie, you're just not needed anymore. Why didn't you just fucking walk out the door? Walk out the door. Yeah. Don't get hit by the door. Archie, you're never listening, true. Now all the talent is shot through. Yeah, man. Don't get hit by door. Walls heading to the floor. Floors of whores. Those floors of whores. You don't get no sword from them wrinkly old whores. Oh, yeah. No swords no more.
Archie, you live in a shit that's not even fit for a mouse. Oh, everything about you sucks. Very best of Archie. You're not needed anymore, but you
shit on every bloody channel.
Hey, what do you, that's
Man, that was something else. That was something else. Jesus.
That was a very interesting sort of.
G'day, Archie.
I have to say this: it's nice
Yes.
hearing Sirocco's voice, even if it's AI. So
Yes.
that's what I'll say to that. And
it definitely is.
there was a lot of somebody named Nicki Minaj in that video. I don't know how much of her video was used in that video, but I did recognize her from here to, occasional shots here and there. So there you go.
Wow.
I can hardly wait for his next video.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's
It
some
was
work went into
intended.
that.
I'm sure it was intended as a message of love. And Tanzil earlier told Danny that you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave.
Can never.
So he's going to be with you forever, Archie, whether he wants to be or not. He'll probably be sending a video at least once a week. That's my prediction.
That's pretty fantastic stuff there. That's great. That was great. I love these.
It's just consider it a tribute. It's a tribute. It's a tribute
Yeah,
to...
you can't not love this. I think Sov's involved in these, Doc.
It does have a lot. It does have a lot of Savron in it.
Because there's a lot of technical. This is not easy to do, He's
No.
very.
It reminds me of some of the good Savron stuff that he did as part of the Dungeon intro. It has a lot of that feeling to it. ABC's in there. His voice is in there anyway.
Yes.
Is that the English guy, ABC?
Yeah, he's the English
I
guy.
remember him. I remember him, yeah.
And he's good friends with Savron. ABC is.
That's incredible, Doc. I got to tell you, that's.
I think they have a WhatsApp group where they're in there.
That's incredible, Doc. They put a lot of effort into these things,
Maybe it's even possible that Danny has infiltrated their WhatsApp group. He might be in there in that WhatsApp group, Savron and ABC, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, I see what you mean. No, that's a very good point there. It's
Now, if eventually if you're singing in a band of some kind, it means that they got me involved. If that happens.
That's so cool, Doc.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Hey, that's fantastic. Guys, I want to thank everybody who's come on there. Lewis, you got to get to bed, man. Thank you so much.
I know, man. You're right. Thanks for having me on, man. I love this show.
Thank you, man.
Nice meeting you, man.
Take it easy, man. Thank you so much. It was great to catch up, and
yeah, man.
I hope everything works out for your grandma. That's a horrible
Thanks, man.
story.
Thank
but
you. I'll keep you updated. I'll come on now and then and just see how you're doing. But
yeah, I can't imagine. That's just so awful. And as you
fingers
said,
crossed.
these people are professional con artists who
they know how to do it, Archie. It's a profession. It's a bad profession, but it is a profession, and they know what they're doing and how to do it.
Yes.
Yes. As horrible as it is, yeah. It's
unfortunately, with the worldwide inflation and economy as it is, there's more and more of these con artists popping up every day.
For sure, man. These people who've done it, they've done it many times. They're well known for it, which is why they just need to be sort of put away and sort of left there eventually. What else are you supposed to do? Can't trust them.
My brother has been victim to some of these con artists for at least 20 years, and I think that it's not just the con artists, but it's the con artists' children, I think, that are involved.
Yeah. This is a huge web of people. In this case, it's him, his girlfriend, somebody else who they pretended was related to them. It's almost always a group, isn't it? It's like a crime, organized crime, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
it is a form of. And if you go to places like Jamaica, you can find some of the most built up and nicest houses have to do with these sort of kind of crimes and all the different scams that involve telephone scams and all the other stuff.
Yeah, they're called call centers.
Yeah. I know a few people who've been caught out by that as well. The call center thing's quite common, isn't it?
My mom got nicked heavily by one of those scams. They called her and told her she had warrants and they were going to send the police over right now, and unless she got these gift cards, and gave her the number, and she fell for it, and to the tune of like $780. And they prey upon old people and people they can intimidate and scare. And
what they really prey on is people who have a little bit of greed in their heart. If you have a little bit of greed, then you can make these stupid mistakes that are pretty obvious if you were just to stop and think about what you're doing.
Yeah. It's do they in the US, do you tend to get like if you've obviously been a victim of fraud, do you get compensation or not? Or did your mother get her money back or not?
If you have insurance.
No.
Just insurance.
It's all gone. It's all gone. No,
most of the time you can't get any money back, and there's usually not a paper trail. If there is a paper trail, it involves international laws, and you're done. You know?
Yeah, they know. Yeah, and these people know that as well, don't they? So they sort of prey upon that as well. Listen, I'm going to have to go because my oven's about to go off and it'll deafen you. It's such a horrible beep.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I'll see you soon. I'll see you all soon.
See you later there. Soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
See you later, man. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you, man.
That was very nice guy to have him on. We haven't had him on for ages. So it was very cool and very nice of him to come on. And it's also nice to have you on, Mikey. I tell you what, Mikey, I've had some bleak days. And you're always somebody who supports the channel. And look, we might be going through a bit of a bad patch. I'm hoping after this election things step up again. Doc, is it they're saying it's knife edge? Do you agree with that or you disagree?
They're saying it's what?
Knife edge. It's on a knife's edge.
Well, unfortunately, most of the polling shows that President Trump has an edge in the swing states, and that's what decides the election.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they do have pollsters who, you can kind of make it say whatever you want to say depending upon who you're sampling. And they do have pollsters who say that she's winning, that Kamala's winning. And in the end, It all really matters about who's counting the vote. As long as you can say there's credibility on either side, you can count it whichever way you want to count it.
Yes.
And all I can tell you is that, I've never really been into politics, but I remember even as a kid so this is like, I can remember in the 70s and 80s and maybe more the 80s, that the election was pretty much done by the end of the night, even if it went till like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It meant that it was done. And then when 2000 hit, and it was the hanging chads and all this other craziness, but basically down to Florida, the election was so close. And then ultimately Al Gore resigned to George Bush. He certainly didn't have to. I personally think that there was some negotiations, let's say. But in any case, he did do that. He did resign the election to George Bush. George Bush became president. That's one of the closest ones, and that's one of the elections that no one knew who was president for months, or certainly for days. And after that happened, things seemed to go okay until 2020, when the election, the votes were tallied up to midnight, and suddenly it all stopped.
Here we go. Sturk Diggler, $5. Doc, when Trump wins and I get put in a detainment camp, will you visit me?
Well, the question is, what kind of detainment camp is it? Is it detainment like a poor humor camp? I don't know. I don't know what kind of camp it is. And it depends on the kind of camp whether I'm going to go anywhere near it. I have to be honest. It's interesting, though. A lot of people are insisting that Trump's going to do this and Trump's going to do that. And it's like, remind you, he was president for 4 years. He didn't, and they keep calling him Hitler, but he didn't do any Hitler stuff ever. I mean, he'd be just like Hitler, except for all that killing of Jews and all that, I don't know, World War II and all that other stuff that Hitler did.
Let's not go down that path, Doc. That's a bit nasty.
But it is just something that they say, and so the detainment camp, it goes along with that. That's what he's referring to, I think. He's making a reference to World War II.
Yes. Yes, I see what you're saying there.
So I don't know. I think that it would be nice if things could just be calmed a bit, but I don't think that'll ever happen because, the side that's saying it's calling for calm, and then it's calling people names. And if you have a rally, it's calling you names at the rally. And of course, President Biden called Trump supporters garbage. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if there's a solution, to be honest. But yes. I'd love to see reduced inflation and an end to this whole Ukraine thing. That would be wonderful. If one party's elected, if the other party's elected, it'll be business as usual. More Ukraine funding and more Ukraine war and more inflation.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying there.
Who knows what'll happen? It'll all be exciting and interesting. I'm sure that Tommy will have an opinion. Ron the Shrink will have an opinion, and of course Curly will have an opinion all tomorrow night after your show. We would never rebel stream.
We'll do an election special tomorrow. Can you come on, Doc?
That's what we're doing. And we would never rebel stream the Pontiff.
No.
I want you to know that Curly was very specific that we can't start until you're finished with your show.
Hey, that's so cool. Thank you so much. Guys, I want to thank everyone who has super chatted today. Let's go through the list there. The list. We had Patel Philippe, Nick Miller, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Basil's Bezels, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Swinging Kangaroo, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Patel Philippe, Rich Mitch, Patel Philippe, Yankee Doodle, Watch Fan 95, Nick M, Patel Philippe, and Dirk Digler.
And thank you, Dirk, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. That's the show for today. We will see you tomorrow. Let's run this superb clip again. Let's run it again, Doc.
Why not?
G'day, Archie. Start the show.
Oh, Archie and Crips is a filthy shitbox. Living in a house held together by dry rock. Not worth the jack. Fit for a house, just a few $100,000 thereabouts. Your house is land value worth nothing as the bank chases you. Me every month of value ain't worth any more than the rest. You got smushed money out very fast. Your life is shit. The new panel sucks. Everything about you, your marriage is fucked. Oh, Archie, you're not needing anymore. You'll still be in debt when you're 94. But that doesn't matter anymore. It's all you're chasing is more easy home. Oh, Archie, you live in house of dry rock. Less value than your 3-inch cock. You got an up down now. I'll fetch you, Doc, cause all you're doing is chasing off smelly twat. Oh, Archie, the house is so you. Right next to the greasy KFC drive-thru. It comes with the dodgy marshmallow safe. Your punches have a far better place. Archie can scream until you're blue. Put your fever in business, I won't fuck too. At the front door sits a 4-lane black Tonka. Don't even looks a fucking council bus score. Oh, Archie, you're not needed anymore. But still be in debt when you're 94. But that doesn't matter anymore, cause all you chase is more sleazy whores. The house smells like a dirty old fag, eating out like a termite from a ghetto slag. Those homies hear you scream and shout, since the boys got that grinder and rip your fucking watches out. Oh, Archie, we're broken up in true, cause at every dinner you're dressed up like you. Oh, Archie, you're just not needed anymore. Why think you just fucking walk out the door? Walk out the door. Yeah. Don't get hit by the door. Archie, you're never listening, true. Now all the talent is shot through. Yeah, man. Don't get hit by door whilst heading to the floor. Balls of whores, those balls of whores. You don't get no sword from them wrinkly old whores. Oh, yeah, no swords no more.
Archie, you live in a shitbox, not even fit for a mouse. Oh, everything about you sucks. Very best, oh, Archie, you're not needed anymore.
Shit on every bloody channel.